is it just all chat?
It's just your thoughts. It's
Your
just a
face is a
regular chat.
workbook.
And we're
How did I say that live?
This is that fuck shit that we be talking about, Miss Mackenzie. What?
Hey, everyone.
Well, apparently we're live now, people.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Episode Club. Today we're going to be talking Season 6, Episode 9, Battle of the Bastards. And we have some people who've always been on Episode Club, and one person who's never gotten to join us until today. So, whoever gets to unmute first gets to talk first. Rules of Episode Club.
Well, Luke's already
unmuted.
So.
I never mute. I live my life unmuted. So, hi, I'm Luke. I'm from the podcast that drinks and knows things. I talk too much and drink way more. And I've been really excited to be on Episode Club for a long time. And I'm excited to get in here for Bob, the official Bob. Super excited. Thank you for
getting
having
his
me.
workout in.
I'm standing, so I'm going to be bouncing the whole time. Don't get distracted.
Oh, dude, I have to do that myself. I understand how it is.
I'm having knee surgery Friday, so I'm getting ready. I'm getting used to standing up for while I can. So.
Oh no.
Oh, get better soon, bud.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Well, Johnny, since you're talking.
It's not a good thing. No, what is up? Y'all may have seen me earlier. I got to take just a little standing break. This is pretty funny that, me and Luke both have to stand for a second, but I'm not going to subject you to looking at my crotch the whole time. So, thank you. So, I saw Battle of the Bastards. Fantastic episode, and, I can't stop working. I just love it. I love hurting myself. I love putting myself through the meat grinder. So, with that, yeah, just take me there. I don't know, I'm using all these euphemisms and these double entendres.
Jesus.
Why does it always go back to somebody's nuts when it comes to this damn story? I don't understand. Anyways, what's going on?
See you strong. Okay.
Oh my God.
Really, young man.
Maybe it really does all come back to Cox.
Well, you could say this episode is a little slight bit of dick swinging contest, but anyway, go ahead, AK.
Yeah, so hello again. I am Lord Commander AK, and you guys know me. Hello to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming to hang with us. And my lovely esteemed panel, thank you for having me on, Kenzie. Let's get on to this. John, you're up.
Yeah, Kenzie, thank you for having me on. Luke, yeah, knee surgery is a word I'm not allowed to say on Kenzie's channel. It's not fun, so please stand as much as you can right now. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this episode. I just dropped the Season 6 playlist, which I'm also pretty excited about. And the track that I picked for this episode is pretty awesome. But let's talk about this episode, because there are a lot of people out there who say it's the best episode in the entire series. I definitely put it in my top 5. For me, my personal best episode is the next one. But, yeah, definitely one of the top 5 best episodes of the series.
Yeah, it has to be.
Unbowed, unbent, unbroken was the best. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Can confirm. Yeah.
This is the number one favorite episode. So, Luke, since you have not been on Episode Club before, but you've been in the chat, we basically just freeball it. I kind of just give you the scene and you just talk about it.
It's freeball it.
Do I actually need to drop trial, or are we?
No.
Just imagine.
And here we go.
Don't go below the belly button. Keep it all kosher up in there.
Sorry, Mackenzie.
No. This has just been a crazy night with everything.
Hashtag let's get weird.
So, and welcome, Abby, to an Episode Club, a first live one you get to watch for completing your experience with Game of Thrones this week and all of that.
Don't give her any ego. She doesn't need it.
You leave Gertie alone, young man.
If her younger brother can't give her shit, who can?
We have to boost Abby's ego. It's a big week for her.
It is a big week for her.
She did finish all the episodes, so now she can watch every single person. But let's get started. So we start this episode in Marine, and we'll stay in Marine because all the cool stuff happens later on. Sorry, not sorry. So we start in Marine with Dany and Tyrion, who discuss what's next for Slaver's Bay / pretty much for her, as well as give a brief history lesson.
Oh,
So can I do my random summary that I told you about?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm basically gonna hijack the panel for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how long I think about some things, because I've been drinking already. You know.
I sure hope it's Bud Ice.
Of course it is, sir.
I've got a whole bottle of scotch here, so you know.
I mean, I'm not opposed
Hijack
to
as long as you
get
like.
some of that through the weirwood, and I'd appreciate it. But anyways,
I'll have
start
some
this
for you
episode.
in Deer Creek in about a month.
That sounds like a plan, sir.
Good scotch.
All right, so Dany gets home from the other episode. We know she was gone, running around. Now she's back, and she kind of had that ultimate mom face. Like, you know, when you leave and you tell the kids to do A, B, C, D list of chores, and then you get home and you just look at them like, what the fuck? Things were kosher when I left. Why the hell are there flames in my city? What the hell did you little bastards do? So, of course, the 2 youngest kids that always tend to get away with shit point the finger at the oldest kid, and that's Tyrion. Being a first child, you know, oldest kid myself, I realize how much of a bitch move that is, and fuck Missandei and Grey Worm for him having to face mom alone. But that's neither here nor there. It might just be me being in my feelings about having to have responsibility. Anyway, we jump to everybody speaking terms with the Mastards. They're under the misconception that Dany's actually about to surrender, and she gives one of her best no bitch no faces and cuts that shit right the fuck off. Drogon decides to do a flyby at this time, and you know, kind of stops and looks at her like, you know, Mom Dukes, we doing this right now? Is it can I actually be me right now? You're gonna do you? Let's go. Dany gets on, and you know, it's almost, you could hear the internal conversation like, should we go get the other 2? And I imagine Dany was like, well, yes, my child, we can't do this alone. But they didn't have to go looking for anything because Rhaegal and Viserys are ready for action. They bust through the wall and they get going. And when I saw that, Rafiki kind of jumped into my head, and all I heard was, it is time. So yes, I am here for it. Daenerys is going to burn some shit. So as everybody goes in, we cut back though to the pyramids, and I'm reminded of the scene in the 300 when battle formations were going on, and Magneto was like, you know, is that thunder? What does that sound? Well, Leonidas, you know, the wisest king ever, says, no, son. Those are battle formations. We hear the damn Dothraki screamers. We've heard about these screams of terror before, but we didn't really see it in full-on action until right now, and I loved it. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was great. Dothraki are not to fucking be played with, and I appreciate the hell out of them. So the Harpies, for whatever reason, is it just y'all that it seems stupid that they didn't hear that shit coming and decided to run away? I don't understand why they stayed.
You could hear a jet coming. Something with that much mass flying through the air is going to make at least a slight whistling sound.
Exactly. Like in that world, you hear some out of the ordinary shit like that, you run. That's the only appropriate human response. You get the fuck out of Dodge. But they didn't do that, so they got, you know, bitches get stitches. So they all got shanked, you know, hashtag they deserved it. Shameless plug for the They Deserved It series. An epically sarcastic series, mind you, that myself and Johnny B. Crazy will be doing in the upcoming season. Stay tuned for that. back on topic. We get back to the dragons, and I don't know about y'all, but the dragons were awesome in this fucking scene. The detailing, just their aura radiating into the ether. And had a few people on the boat looked up. They looked worried, but the vast majority of them thought they could still win. And Daenerys hit them with the Dracarys, and no fucks given. Again, I'm here for it. That you are a Targaryen, that's what you do.
Yeah, the rest of this episode is so badass that you kind of miss or forget about
the little tidbits in the beginning.
Because the rest of it's so epic and so well done.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about it, but yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty big Daenerys not liker. I wouldn't call myself a Daenerys.
John, come on, man. You got all those books.
A lot of folks are, but you always got to give credit where credit is due.
But like this scene, I was like, this is fucking badass.
Yeah. I love. I dug, her theme song started playing as soon as it went down, so I was here for it. Grey Worm and Tyrion, though, we cut back to them, and they got right to the business. The leaders were sitting there talking. Right. And as soon as Tyrion called them out, they, like the bitches they were, point to the guy that's the ump jump, pretty much. He quote unquote new money. He's not with us, he's lowborn, blah, blah, blah. And the guy just looks at Grey Worm like, I have no words. Just please don't kill me. I was just trying to survive. My man bends the knee. Grey Worm, without missing a beat, pulls out that awesome ass dagger and goes swoop right across their throats. And I feel like, that pimp hand was so strong. Wolverine Stark, I think, would be proud of that slice. It was absolutely awesome.
Wolverine Stark.
And the blade was so dull, too. If you pause it on there, it's funny.
Right. I mean,
the blade is. But
he made it do what it do.
Well, it's for a movie. That's just what I get for pausing it and studying it so damn hard and breaking down
going scene by scene.
That's definitely my favorite Grey Worm scene.
Yeah, he definitely made it
inconsistencies for like hours. So please don't let either of us get started.
All I heard was Johnny and hours. I don't like it, man.
Oh no!
Right. So to quote real quick, well, loosely quote because I'm going from memory. My fellow Mad Queen, Lady Diligence. Also, shameless plug, sub on her channel.
Paraphrase coming up.
Yeah, it was basically without missing a beat. My man sheaths his dagger, then straightens up that slick ass Italian leather vest that he's wearing, and he falls back. My job here is done.
AK, can you read Sasa K's comment?
Where was it?
Is it the
Wormsy?
Hammer pants.
Hashtag hammer pants. Hashtag dagger time.
I am here for it. Yes.
Hammer pants.
Yes.
Oh my god. See, we're gonna get even more crazy hashtags today.
Indeed. So Tyrion finishes his shit. He pretty much breaks the rest of this man's spirit, and also has his own Wolverine Stark moment. When they asked you what happened here, tell them to remember what happens when you betray the Dragon Queen.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
And her reign has only just begun, so she will rule Westeros. She's gonna kill them all. She's gonna sit on top of the Red Keep. She's gonna move the Iron Throne there. She's gonna declare all these new laws, and then she's gonna marry the Night King.
I think she's gonna sit on a bit of corpses, but that's just me.
Well,
John,
bring up love
the
that.
controversy. Bring up the controversy.
Luke wants to talk. I can
Yes,
see.
Luke's like
getting bashed in the chat. He's all these knee jokes. It's killing me.
All these knee
chomping
jokes.
at
Bend the knee.
and yeah, go ahead, Luke.
No, I thought this was a pretty strong series of scenes. I think Dany does a good job of actually taking things into her hand and actually doing. This is where we were, again, multiple times we've seen this, her actually taking her strength and using it. Her strength is this kind of conqueror thing. And yes, it can be overdone. Yes, it can be a very dangerous thing that happens, but this is kind of a statement piece. You know, this is the defense that she has to do to retain the precedent that she's set in this entire area. That this is what she's bringing here is a totally new political system. Questionable on how she got there. I agree, it could have been better, but the sentiment is good and the follow through is effective. So overall, positive Dany scene.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like a thumbs up scene, and it's but there's this whole thing of how she was so the one thing that kind of the one thing that's kind of bothersome about this is that she was so stoic when all of the catapults were like coming into Marine, and like Tyrion's just like going like whoa, and she's just like, my city's on the rise, and like the fact that she's not even kind of like even quivering at one moment about the fact that the glass is going to shatter or that something's going to happen just means
Mackenzie, don't live in fear. Don't live in fear. Confidence shows. Just either you're gonna get killed or you're not. So show confidence, and if it doesn't work out for you, you go out looking brave.
I mean, this all was Tyrion's idea, though, and she literally had to be hit in the head with a rock to come to this conclusion. That's the only thing I will say. I'm not bashing Dany here. She's a young emperor, a young conqueror, and she does do a lot of things that mimic Aegon the Conqueror here, especially later on with the Ironborn. But yeah, it's a good Dany scene. She kind of had to do this. She should have did this a long time ago. Should have called a parlay and killed him. Maybe not. You know, Tyrion might have had a little hubris in leaving that one guy alive. It seemed like he did have the power there, in a sense. I wonder if it was on the fly when they saw Drogon.
Sorry, one thing I want to mention on what you were just saying about Dany being a young conqueress, a young empress. Like, one thing that's left out in the show that I think the books really plays up pretty often is she uses the line, "I'm just a young girl and I'm inexperienced in war." And like, she uses that like false modesty when she every time knows what the right answer is because she's not dumb. And I think the show kind of makes her look domineering because it doesn't show her savviness that happens in the books because of lines like that. And I don't know, I think she looks more of, for Dany haters, a total bitch at times than in domineering and just overpowering by the nature of her name and what she has, other than, okay, well, she's doing the things that she needs to do to understand what leadership is and makes smart choices because of that, regardless of the bad input that she consistently gets because she just needs some help. Get this girl some help.
So you're saying she needs a shrink. No.
She's got Tyrion now, at least. At least she's got Tyrion now.
For now, but
care for book Dany. I really don't care for show Dany. Either one I think of as petulant child, but
you can understand book Dany a lot more.
It's a little more nuanced. In the book, it's a little more nuanced. I agree with Luke here. It's whereas in the show, it's like, oh, dragons! I'm the dragonborn. Like either way, I think she comes across as a petulant child. I've always felt that about her character personally. That's just me.
I respectfully disagree.
Absolutely, and you know that's why we have panels as opposed to.
God, you're such an asshole, Luke.
No, I'm the worst. I am the worst. I will defend everybody that gets hate.
No. And I can see where people are coming from, her fan, but I do think that in the book it's a little more nuanced than it is in the show.
She's a lot smarter in the books. She's a lot more fun in the books, in a sense. But you get that inner working. Same thing happened with Sansa, in my opinion. You don't get that inner monologue, and it kills it.
Agreed. I think the one thing everyone on the panel agrees on, though, is like this first 10 minutes. Dany's a freaking badass, and you like it.
It's just good for good show's sake. I like it. It's
good.
Let's
Tyrion's
strong
last good
consolidation. Let's just get it fucking done with. Like, we need her in this place in 2 episodes. Let's get the fuck out.
Yeah,
Let's go.
It's good telling. It really is.
Tyrion goes into remission after this episode.
Yeah, he becomes as Johnny said, a background character after this season.
Fair. That's pretty fair.
And, yeah, and then after Dany has done burned some ships, she gains more ships because we see Theon and Yara show up, and Yara's like, "Hey," and Dany's like, "Hey," and like, "I'll give you some." Like Yara's like, "I'll give you some ships," and he's like, "Okay." So, and she does, and they don't have to pay the iron price for it. So, what do we think about this? And I know AK, we kind of talked about this.
Yeah, I did think that I wasn't going to be able to make the panel for the episode that this was in, but I did. But for anyone that didn't watch the podcast, I'll repeat. You know, Yara and Theon get there, and point number 1, Yara's ass. I'm sorry, it's a thing. I could not help but be drawn to it, and it is quite lovely. So yeah, kudos to you, of the Iron Islands for actually, you know, making some chicks that aren't subpar.
Nice job, Gemma Whalen. Good.
Exactly. Yeah. Gemma gets all the credit.
I'm sitting here with the celibate monk, and I'm like, yeah, Yara's ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks
Number
good.
2,
Dude slacks.
Exactly. Number 2.
Pay the latex price, Phil H.
Here's a quote.
Pay the latex price.
Idiot. Point number 2. Well, I never demand, but I'm always up for anything, really. That is the exact moment you'll see the camera pan to Dany, and you will see Dany cream her pants, pretty much. It was a wrap. The chemistry was there. I initially didn't like how they did that with Yara's character, but I was here for that scene. I loved it. 3, Yara's negotiations are the best in the series. Absolutely straight to the point, all facts and cards on the table. You agree, I agree, then we have an accord. Yara's the MVP of this scene, and that's all I got for the rest of the Marine.
Yara's an Iron Islander. I mean, she really is. She's like, hey, we're laying it all out on the table here, and this is the way it's going to be. It might not be fair, it might not be good, it might not be pretty, but we're going to lay it all out on the table here, and this is how shit's going to work out. I totally agree with you, AK.
Aye. Now, this is killing the old way and her accepting it when Balon actually brought it back. His father had made the new waves. The first one, Balon Greyjoy's father is the first one to bring maesters to the damn Iron Islands. And Yara, without even any question, okay. You know, that kind of did bother me a little bit because I felt like, you know, their pride is worth more than that. Let's see that early on. But it was okay. And as far as what they did with Yara or Asha, the Ilaria Sand thing bothered me.
Asha
this does not bother me. I wish.
God, I hate Yara. Sorry.
Yeah, I wish they would have.
I love the character. I hate the name.
What you were saying, AK, would have played that out with Dany. That would have been very intriguing. Maybe far too progressive, I guess. I don't know. It's just, it's like they'll go certain lengths, but then they'll throw these hints and then just kill it, seemingly. But you never know. Season 8, you know, that may be who saves Yara in the end, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, you know, the whole time you were making that whole spiel, the only thing I had in my head was that damn Yara and Ilaria scene, and there is about to be a foreign invasion. And she just looks at Theon like, I mean, she's practically throwing the pussy at me. What am I supposed to do? Get out. I got stuff. I got stuff to handle right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just facts. Let's be honest.
I will agree. I'm actually, again, I'm going to pull I don't normally like to do this live, but I agree with Johnny here. I didn't really overly love the Asha Yara Ilaria scene when I first saw it, because it's just kind of like throwing the pussy in Theon's face, and it's like, we get it, like, okay, like, we get it, like, it's a little heavy-handed, it's a little much. I'm not against the Asha Yara and Ilaria thing. I just don't like the way it was done to make Theon seem even smaller as a character. We don't need that. We're past that. Like, he's already grown. And it's one of those show ebbs and flows on. Jamie's gone through the same thing. Ebbs and flows on, wow, this character's kind of a piece of shit, and or they need to grow from it. Sansa's gone through it too. Let's make sure you realize we still think, us the show writers think they're kind of a piece of shit. Don't forget that. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, by the way, we still hate Theon for now. That's basically what they're doing.
Right. Oh, and he's also just kind of a wuss. Like, what's he gonna do about it? Nothing. That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, Theon never even factored on my radar looking at those scenes.
No.
Yeah, nor did I. Like you gentlemen, I never really picked up on that, like, rubbing it in his face type thing. Like, I thought it was just Yara. Yara just being like, hey, I'm a pirate too. Like, this is what I do.
I'm over here.
Like, I'm gonna go shag.
Well, it's unbelievable to think that Ilaria doesn't know Theon's condition. It's kind of unbelievable the way word spreads. Everybody else knows. Yeah, she should know that Theon doesn't have that, and know that, you know, it seems like they didn't even get in. It was just the way the scene was set up. It wasn't what happened in the scene. It was the way just everything happened. Like the setup and the ending was just odd. Whatever.
But imagine if Euron had showed up first to Dany, how different the story would have been. Because they bring that up. It's like, you could either accept us or accept Uncle Euron with the other amount of ships. And he's a dude.
Hey, AK, you see Mandolin's comment? Hashtag they deserved it.
It's up here.
There's
How high up is it?
Oh, it's a couple. It says, I personally enjoy every bit of Theon's suffering.
I'm with that. Mandolin, high five. That's exactly how I feel about it.
But in this episode, I really did like the Theon and Yara scene with Tyrion and Dany. I thought it was really strong, especially when they start talking about their parents. Everyone here's fathers were a total dick, like just a total piece of shit. 3 for 3, she's right. And guess what? It's kind of because of who their fathers were, all 3 of them, that they are where they are. Dany for the name, which, yeah, maybe she counts on a little too much, but I think she has shown some merit to get to where she is at this point. It's kind of all been just who she is. Tyrion used a lot of the money and all of that prestige to get where he's at, but also he's done it on his own now with the skills that he garnered through growing up that way. And Theon and Yara learned what not to do. Don't be a total fucking douchebag to all of the people around you, even though your society is built on douchebaggery, and just fucking have people follow you because you're strong and they appreciate what the fuck you're doing. And I just thought, like, when that conversation happened, man, these 3 groups, I'm considering Tyrion his own group, these 3 backgrounds all fit together so nicely because they can understand that perspective, and some of them actually have interactions with each other. From this point on, I had no doubt that this was a crew that was just going to roll together, roll strong, roll tide, I guess. But I don't give a shit about football, so.
I resent that statement, sir.
I knew who my audience was with that one.
I challenge you to a set of fisticuffs.
Let's just have a beer instead.
Oh, no.
He's going to burn you at the stake.
Oh, jeez.
He's going to shireen your ass.
Oh, God.
Oh, but she's a lot cuter than I am, so I'm safe, right?
Hashtag fire in your ass. I don't know what's going on.
Hashtag fire and douche.
Douche buggery.
Oh, gosh. Fire douche. Hashtag fire douche.
How did we get here?
I have no idea. It just completely
I think because we're all just like, either tired or we're like slightly drunk, so it's just
I've had a couple of 18-hour work days in a row.
But yeah, it's just like
Sorry.
when with the whole ships thing, and Tyrion's like, there are more than this many, and then they're like, yeah, because Euron has them, and it's like if only Euron had shown up, and we didn't get that weird scene in the season 7 finale where he's like, if you and I work together, we'll be good. If we just leave these two all alone, like when we leave Westeros by itself, it's just like, Danny. Like, it would have been just even funnier if he showed up and she's like, yeah, no. With his whole, like, douchebaggery. Captain Guyliner, or was it Euron Guyliner?
And I mean,
Guyliner.
To
Catching
what,
Euron's arrow.
to what Yara was in the show, the more I think about it, she is definitely combined with Victarion.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I would like Victarion in the show, just because he's literally just insane. But I don't know how to even describe Victarion. I think I described him as the Neanderthal serial killer. You know, this might be the best way to do it, but I don't know, man. That just makes me think. Come on, $1.50 for a eye patch for Euron. That's all you need.
The costume.
I'm sorry.
And a little bit of blue lipstick. Would it have killed him? It was in the budget. You could have got all that at the damn Dollar Tree store.
Yeah. That's just so stupid. But yeah, Yara is most definitely like an amalgamation of probably a few characters. And stupid that they changed the name. Osha and Asha. Like, the book readers don't get confused. Do you think the show watchers would get confused?
That really was like the epitome of like, wow, we don't respect our show watchers. They are idiots. Like, wow. Really? Like, they're fairly close, but like maybe exaggerated in the accents. It's even easier then.
Yeah.
I'm going to verbally state that I'm keeping myself out of this conversation because
I wish I would have. I'm past that point.
Auntie Burnett, I want Euron to survive the show. Anybody else?
No. Do you think in season 8 we'll see a Euron Guyliner line of eyeshadow for men?
They are selling just about everything else at this point.
Well, they're already making Game of Thrones makeup with Urban Decay. So who knows? They may have a shade called Euron or something.
Come on and get your inner Euron on. Let's get the Euron Guyliner. You want to look like the crow's eye? Come on down.
For Balon's youngest brother, my term is urine.
Urine Greyjoy.
Urine Greyjoy.
Because he pisses you off all the time. Badoomch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Euron has a mangina.
The imagination realm.
I do really wish they would have worked Victarion in there, but they do kind of throw some of those characteristics to Yara. Next season, we see some of that gets very blatantly thrown onto Euron as well. But it's an easy character for the direction the show has taken to take out. But at least there's some homage being paid to that idea of like the most true Ironborn character that we have as just this true raider. Let's go out and fucking kill with the biggest axe that we can find on a ship wearing chainmail and full armor. At least they do that a little bit. So still a miss.
Yeah. And Ellen King brings up the good comment of why did they, with the name change, why didn't they change Osha's name instead of Asha, making Yara have to change her name? Like, come on.
If they couldn't think of an O name that sounded pretty. They're like,
because Asha was Osha was there first in the show.
Yeah, but like, I guess in the beginning when they were right. Anyway, we just been on a tangent about Ares and Balon and Euron and all of these other Ons and Johns.
All these other Ons.
To pay one more respect to AK, I do really, really like, and I know I'm going back a half scene. I apologize. Seeing the Dothraki in action for the first fucking time, I think is important. I am surprised it took this fucking long to see it. And it's just for like a, hey, they're on their way. And you just like, it cuts away and you assume they just fucking dominate. Come on. Like it sets the tone a little bit, but it's been a long time coming, literally since episode 1 of season 1. We met the Dothraki, and it's like they're this vicious horde, and here they're following this queen or whatever. But like, really,
you know how you get away from a Dothraki?
How's
they're
that?
not on a horse; you just run because they're so bow-legged they can't run.
But they probably are on a horse.
Yeah, flip-flop.
Probably, but you know.
Yeah, the horses.
I didn't set up that well.
Well,
anyways, I'll shut the hell up.
Well, who knows about the like
Who knows
most
about?
of Ubud, Dany's army when it arrives really in the true north, how they're going to fare very well. Speaking of armies and the Norse, we'll talk a bit about Jon's side and them kind of coming to pretty much the battlements or the preparing before the battle, and they meet with Ramsay, and it's like, brother-in-law, nice to meet you. Give me back my bride. And he's like, nah, not today. And Sansa's like, never again. Before Mel and Jon have a conversation about being brought back. So it just kept it wide for everybody. So thoughts?
Jon doesn't want to be brought back. I got caught off guard here because usually I just talk first and can't shut the hell up, but I'll just fill airtime while someone else gets ready. That's what I'm very good at. Luke, I see you're ready to talk now.
I'll never hesitate. I just want to talk over people. I think, again, this is a really strong interaction between a couple of characters that have never met before, right? This is the whole Jon meeting Theon for the first time scene, right? And Ramsay, sorry. What did I said Theon. I apologize. And yeah, no, like there's a few supporting characters around, kind of counting Sansa as a supporting character in this case, because the real conversation is between those two bastards. I mean, literally the episode is named after them. How on point can you get with that? But I like that they make it very blatant of, quips are given back and forth, and even Ramsay, for some reason I keep wanting to call him Theon, is like, wow, he's good. Like, you're good. Because Jon doesn't actually fuck around. And that's all Ramsay does. That's his MO, is let's just fuck around. Let's just push buttons and see where it gets me and figure it out when we get there in post. But Jon is, here's the answer. We're going to talk about that. And guess what? You have me way outnumbered. You have the advantage. But you're not going to fight me a one-on-one. What are your men going to think about that when they hear that? I'll fight you one-on-one. I'll fight anybody one-on-one if it means saving 10, 15, 1,000 of my own men. They'll follow me because they chose that. They're following you because they're afraid of you. And that's a huge difference going into this. And I don't know if it really plays up in the battle that we get into, but I do think leadership-wise, Jon consistently does legitimately the right things, because the right thing is not always the easy thing, but it's still the right fucking thing. And that's kind of why Jon is who he is. And Ramsay is kind of a piece of shit. Or as Go Home Gertie would say, Ramsay is the worst.
Yeah.
I would only disagree with you in the sense that Jon is actually being political in this aspect. This is his only chance of winning. He has no idea the veil is coming. Sansa didn't tell him for some odd reason, maybe because she doesn't trust anyone anymore. I guess you can't blame her.
It's for TV drama.
But this is a straight up
TV drama.
This is a straight up political move. We've seen this throughout history and Fire and Blood. Anybody without the numbers, this is what you have to try. You have to goad them into a one-on-one fight because it's usually your only option. And Ramsay is smart as shit here not to fight him, even if he were to win, because you're putting yourself in danger when you know you could already win the war. There's no sense in fighting. We've seen Targaryens do this. Some choose to fight, some don't. But to your point, Jon is made of different stuff. I wouldn't call Ramsay a coward. In the shows, more so, yes. In the books, it's hard to call him a coward. He'll stand up and
stupid
fight,
brave.
but it's weird. Jon's more of a, he's being heroic. That's the best term. Jon is the hero, but we've seen how much he's learned about the Game of Thrones, in my opinion. He didn't lose his cool. He said the right things. He didn't just say, "Hey, let's do a one-on-one fight because I'll whoop your ass." No, he laid it out for him and laid it out for the people beside him. To your point.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't disagree that was the only way he was going to go in, knowing that he would have a victory. Like, that was very clear. Hey, this is like my 90% shot at ending this, and I gotta at least try for it. It doesn't work out, but I like the way that Jon keeps and presents it in a way that provokes Ramsay, because I think the little bit that he does know about Ramsay, that is what's going to at least give him the chance of convincing him to do it, is put the challenge in his court, and instead of just being antagonistic about it. And I thought it was pretty well done by Jon to at least try to get it in his own hands.
Yeah.
Does anybody think it's interesting that Jon...
Take a shot.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's taking a shot. Jon challenges Ramsay to single combat, and Ramsay says no, but the episode ends with that single combat happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, not exactly. Almost.
Well, not the episode ends, but the confrontation between Jon and Ramsay, how it ends, is with that single combat. For me, that was one of my really big takeaways for this episode. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
What's funny to me is Ramsay is the archer and Jon is the swordsman, and it's the opposite in the books. Yes, Jon is the swordsman in the books, but he's more prone to the bow. And I would say at least as equally as proficient. And yeah, it's interesting how they had Ramsay do that. Take a shot.
Take a shot. Yeah, because if you're new, we said interesting so much that we always had to challenge ourselves to take a shot of something to stop us from doing that. Catherine in the chat goes, I hate Santa's little smirk here. Like, yeah, I'm going to win. Yeah, I'm the winner here. What about the little bit of OMG, look at all of these people that died because they rushed into the battle because they had no other option. Yeah.
Yeah, things could have been planned better. Had Sansa led off with, well, I can most likely send our cousin a raven and get more reinforcements that way. Instead of just saying, well, you should have asked me, is this, is that, and you don't know like I do, and I understand her points. But at the same time, you were pretty much attacking him with your words, and he's already stressed.
How awesome was it? What if Sweet Robin had led them into battle?
Oh my god, he would not do that. Oh my god, he would not do that. But
yeah, that
just to comment on the parlay, if you want, that's what it's actually called. It's weird that they ride up and then Jon's like, you don't actually have to be here, and she's like, no, I actually want to be here because I actually want to see his face before the battle ensues. It's just like pretty much just in case. And they get like Lyanna Mormont like staring him down. You get Tormund, like Davos, just like staring them down, and then you get like Small John Umber and Harold Karstark, and you're like, "Who the hell are you?"
Even we don't even really know if that's Small John Umber. Like, there's just a mystery dude that popped out of nowhere.
Well, apparently
credited after the fact as not named on screen. Credited after the fact. Come on, reference it at least. But then we'd be bitching like, "Wow, That was cheesy, like just calling it out to be specific Easter egg. But
yeah, it's like, hi, I am Small John Umber. It's
hello,
like,
Small John Umber here. How are you today? Like,
in the books, it's up for question whether it's really Small John Umber. Ain't that right, John? If I'm not mistaken.
I know.
Yes, you're correct. It's it's a wee bit ambiguous. I always believed that was the case, but it is left a bit of ambiguity.
And the cool part about this episode too is I believe Kit and Sophie, John and Sansa respectively, along with Miguel, do the commentary for this episode. So it was funny to hear like the background of this specific scene. Like they had to keep reshooting it, not just because people kept messing up with the dialogue, but because the horses were like messing the entire time, or like because the trained horses didn't want to stand still. So it's that one shot that John is talking towards Ramsay and his horse when it moves up and down. That was the best shot that they could get. So these horses were bad ones for this.
Okay, I have to ask: has anybody else on this panel ever dealt with a horse?
One
Yes.
time.
Briefly.
Alicia's a yes. Luke's a
They'll
brief.
bite the living shit out of you. I've never saddled a horse, but I have chilled with horses in the stalls and stuff.
Yeah,
They're crazy. They're
horses
so
are-
smart.
They're basically like for you Harry Potter fans, they're kind of like hippogriffs. You actually have to, very calmly walk up to them and let them get to know you per se before you can actually try start leading them around or just putting the saddle on and hopping on, because they will look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they'll just buck and you're on the ground, possibly with something broken.
They're very. I hate the phrase "dumb animal" in the first place for a number of reasons, but no, horses are smart. They're very independent. And every single horse has an entirely different. I mean, they're basically like cats that can break your neck.
Oh, geez.
Like
Hashtag stranger danger in the chat.
Stranger danger.
like
That's
they
the horse
really
for
are.
all time.
Like their behavior.
Yeah.
Horses and cats have a lot in common. It's just like a horse can throw you off its back and break your freaking neck.
and cats are just like literally the worst animal on the planet. So
Where-
it's
They are such assholes.
And then Shade's gonna show up in a second. John's
Just an all in John's face.
yeah. Johnny, what do you think about the fact that they show Rick Shaggy Dog's head?
I think it was an easy way for them to get out of CGI. One, that direwolf's worth something. So just to kill it, to be able to display it the way they did, you would think they'd be slightly smarter than that, being Northmen. Now, you could argue both ways. You kill the direwolf, but I think Rickon would have been more. I don't know. But now that I think about it, Ramsay would have just tortured him either way. I figure like he could use it to hold over Rickon's head, but nah. I don't like the way they got rid of it. I just like none of it. I like none of it because it's completely different from the books. And
I like
you just let the thing.
Rickon.
Rickon's stupid. Poor Rickon.
Yeah, poor baby Rickon. We finally get him back, and he looks basically like a man grown. And they don't even let my boy utter any lines before he passes on. I don't understand. And I also blame Tonks because you, madam, should have taught him the Apocalypto technique and had him zigging and zagging. But I guess, Tonks dropped the ball.
Gertie, Abby,
You like
Direwolf,
games.
Direwolf ID. You do not get to pass TSA without your new and improved Direwolf ID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, R.I.P. Rickon, R.I.P. Shaggy Dog.
Yeah, I like my headcanon about Rickon, what's going to happen in the books.
It's
A lot more.
Argos with the horned
Yeah.
goats.
Oh,
The Unicorn Brigade. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least he'll get some skin changer warg training while he's
no,
there.
I think he's going to get a skin cloak. I think Rickon eats Ramsay. That's my headcanon for the books. Rickon
I
has
just see that he's got anger management issues, so he could be the Savage Wolf. I'm with that.
Phil, you hate Apocalypto. It is so historically inaccurate.
It really is. It really is. But taking all of that away, it's a decent movie. Cheesy in places, but not
That's kind of
unwatchable.
fun. I did watch it. I can't lie, I watched it.
Sasuke actually brings something up in the books, and I know we're talking about the show, and your show has kind of been hijacked here.
My show? Sure.
What else is new?
No.
This is episode, so
Sure.
it gets hijacked.
Sasa. But Sasuke,
Everybody's beating on Sans anyway.
No. She's just saying he's the strongest skin changer. And there's
Or he will.
there's this whole theory out there that actually who the three-eyed raven was looking for was Rickon, and it wasn't Bran. Like Bran was just like the next best thing because he laid up in bed for a month or two.
Well, Varamir Sixskins didn't start showing warging abilities till 6 or 7. And he was one of the most powerful wargs we know of. And Rickon was showing warging abilities at 3. So to your point.
Now, the only reason I'll disagree with that is because we don't have any evidence, I believe, that Rickon could still move about while he was skin changing or warging. And we don't know if salt affects him. It affects Jon and Ghost when they're on opposite sides of the wall, but it does not affect Arya when she's across the Narrow Sea and Nymeria's in the Riverlands. And she can also ward cats and still move her body around while she's seeing through their eyes. We don't have all of that information for Rickon, so I question if he's more powerful than her. I've always thought Arya was the second most powerful, only because she isn't a green seer like Bran.
By the way, there are at least 12 Azor Ahais in the books. You can find them. They will be reborn amongst salt and smoke every damn time, from Tyrion to Arya to freaking, I think even Catelyn has a little Azor Ahai experience. And it kind of goes back to the last hero of the 12 companions for me. But I'm not going to go on a rant because we're talking about an episode and we only like 15 minutes. I'm shutting up now. Like I said in the side chat.
It's an archetype. It's an archetype that's used throughout the book that applies to multiple characters.
Yeah, we get so many. It'll be hard to choose who D&D think it is. But
good question.
Yeah, exactly. So
as someone who's rolled dice for the past 30 years, it really bothers me that people refer to those guys as D&D. Just gotta think.
Abby, I'm very happy that your mind is being blown right now. Yeah, and the next scene that we kind of see is nighttime, and they discuss the battle plans, and everybody says what they're going to do next, and then they disperse for bed, but Sansa just has to get the one moment where she's like, where the two of them fight like the old married couple that they've kind of come to be. And yeah, and then she basically says, listen to me about Ramsay. I'm over here. I'm like your biggest source of information about him, and yet you don't want to use me at all. Like, that's the one thing that I'm just like, yes. Like, you could have asked her more about his tactics and like fighting and strategy, especially against Stannis. It's like, this is what he did. So it's just like, could have done that. But yeah, they fight like an old married couple, and the whole explaining what a pincer move is obviously to dumb down Tormund's character for a second, so we can also all as show watchers understand. That's like my main thought about it before.
Was he doing travel commercials at the same time as he was in
Travelocity?
He was. I always picture that commercial where he's smiling and holding that huge stack of pancakes.
I love it, man. I love it. It's so hilarious.
All right, real quick panel question: pancakes or waffles? You have to choose. This is like a friendship decider right here, I think.
Belgian waffle.
Belgian waffles with maple syrup. Sometimes with bacon crumbles as well.
Plus two waffles.
Pancakes, just butter, no syrup.
You would like flapjacks.
What? Oh, this is kind of a slightly difficult decision because my version
kind of a personal question there, Mackenzie. I apologize for putting you on the spot.
You're in hashtag maple territory.
Yeah, no, this is a debate. No, I'm joking. No, it's a difficult decision because I technically can't have Belgian waffles, but I love Belgian waffles because like hashtag gluten allergy or gluten problems. But yeah, Belgian waffles are usually my favorite. And then now you have to answer because
waffle was the correct answer the whole time. John, I appreciate your flapjacks answer. It is certainly valid. But sir, you are outnumbered. And you've been eliminated from the pancake and waffle discussion.
Too much chewing.
John likes it. John likes his pancakes.
It's pretty even in the chat, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at this, and yes, waffles with fried chicken. Oh my gosh.
I didn't ask the chat.
No, but they just answer anyway.
But yeah, the chat's like 50-50 on that. And French toast is not an option, Bobby. No fair.
Bobby's trying to bring in the third answer.
Get out of here, Bobby. No, this is a bipartisan question.
No, actually, if
room for French toast.
Getting thrown in the mix, then I'll definitely take French toast.
Can Johnny Cakes, Clarissa? Yeah.
Johnny Cakes. But yeah, like Gertie said, yes, I also believe that she could have spoken up in the war room. But the whole thing with the veil is just for a dramatic TV moment, because if that hadn't happened, how big of a moment would have that been if they hadn't just been like, they're showing up at the last possible second, right? Like, that's the one defense I have about that. It's just it's meant for TV purposes.
Again, as probably the biggest Sansa and or Catelyn defender here, this is not good show.
Oh, yeah.
This is not good show stuff for Sansa's character. This is easy pickings for people that do not like Sansa to be like, what the fuck? Because even me, who's a big Sansa fan, is like what the fuck? Like come on. Like it's unnecessary. We've been through this. We don't need it. It's a lot like, jumping ahead, sorry for a spoiler, the Sansa Arya shit later on of like, we just don't need it. It's completely worthless for what the character's been through and for all of that shit. I don't know. It's frustrating, and it's only ammo for the enemy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
May I?
I would like to give a shout out to Ricky Bobby in the
Ricky Bobby.
So Johnny B. Baelish is not coming out tonight. You didn't come out when you were on for frickin'
Oh, you want? Hello, Sasa. I can't even do it. It's because I can't.
You do show up later in the episode, though, so you might as well bring it.
Waffles and chicken with sriracha maple syrup. Hashtag Team House Cat.
You can't take your asses nowhere.
Team House Cat. That's right.
Let me see if I can read a good.
Yeah, because
I haven't been to Waffle House in like 15 years.
Yeah, because Luke and Abby, they were on Brand's side with Cat is the best mother. If you haven't checked that out already, please.
Yeah, go. That was an awesome debate
Cat
that
fight.
we had.
Cat fight.
Ding,
And
ding,
I am not
ding.
used to having a non-spoiler warning option. I'm not used to that, so I apologize for my
Yeah.
spoiler warning.
No.
Oh, me and John have to go to a straight, no spoiler, straight, just strict format every Friday.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like this.
It's tough, isn't it? It's
So
a tough lifestyle. Like, screw the people that are living through it. It's harder on us.
Yeah.
I see you, Abby.
Oh yeah, John, I forgot to tell you, you messed up.
Whinge and moan about it, and I'm like, okay, I had to wait 4 fucking months between
Abby.
one episode and another for Battlestar. So you can all just like bugger off because oh my gosh, yeah, I had to wait 4 months.
Poor girl. Abby.
4 whole months.
Yeah, Abby. 2 weeks. It's like you're all. I just saw that earlier. 2 weeks. You're all gonna kill me, but 2 weeks I have to wait. And I was like, oh, Abby. But yeah, the meeting in the tent. Like, what do we all think about that? Like them all going like, well, we're gonna do this. Let's see if it works out. And obviously,
If I may get to my point, or actually, I can take it up later. I actually have an argument for why Sansa held back the Army of the Vale, but I'll bring it up when it happens.
So
Meaning
this
in
is
the tent.
also like after they have their man chat, right? That Sansa like talks to him afterwards, right? Which kind of just piles on the like, well, just fucking say something, and then like you're in the meeting, say something. And John, I am very interested to hear your thoughts on it in future in a few minutes, but it's just like why hold back? It's very frustrating because at least bring up the idea of if we wait like half an hour, we're probably going to save at least 60 men, maybe. Like I don't know, it's the wishy-washy Sansa waiting until after this meeting for her to even say like, well, you didn't ask me. It was like, well, you were in the meeting. You had every opportunity to do anything. Like, participate. Don't wait until afterwards and bicker at me when I don't ask you. I didn't ask Tormund. I didn't ask Davos. They were there. They offered.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Even if people might say, well, it wouldn't have been in such an epic moment for them coming to their aid, they could have had only part of those forces actually be seen by Ramsay and get into the fray, holding them off just in the nick of time for everyone else to come in without the whole John almost being buried and then Jesus references being reborn in the circle and whatnot. There really wasn't any reason that she couldn't have mentioned that.
And
The question is, will John be reborn in season 8?
That's a good question. I will praise Gertie go home one more time publicly. I don't like to doing this because she's embarrassing to know. But in our episode, the Drinks and Nose episode on this, she brought up the whole seat at the table movement of women on social media, and she has a fucking seat at the table. Like if you're there and you're not taking advantage of it, like it's kind of your fault at that point. And I'm not like someone that's going to blame her for not doing that. But at the same time, like, she also can't bitch at him 3 minutes later when she doesn't take her stand of like, hey, let's talk. Like, if you have something to offer it. If you're there, bring it up. You're a part of this conversation. If you're actively abstaining from the conversation, I can't be on your side on this one, Sansa. It's just like Mackenzie said, it's just for show drama, and that's just frustrating because it's character assassination over and over and over again, and Sansa's kind of an easy target with it.
Sorry,
because she's not Dany, or Cersei. That's why.
Hashtag redheaded stepchild. Man, I'm killing the hashtag.
She literally is, because she is the only redhead compared to in the books where auburn or red hair.
I like a
wouldn't
good
doubt.
ginger.
I'm genetically bred to like good gingers, you know.
Now we get all on the topic of.
So now someone's going to bring up ginger mint. So let's just move on.
Yeah, John, give us what you got. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I think Sansa was getting mansplained, and she's like, hey, okay, cool. And also, she has, I think, for the survivors from the North in this battle, she's the one who saved their asses. I think Sansa is playing the game a hell of a lot better than anybody else. She's like, okay, hey, you know, I said, don't listen to him. You're going to listen to him. I said, don't play into his bullshit. You're going to play into his bullshit. You know what? I've got a wild card up my fucking sleeve. And I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to sit on it.
So is she making the power play then?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's the end game with this?
Because I think Sansa's going to be Queen of the North.
Exactly. But Phil brings up a good question, a good thought about it. Like, she didn't bring up anything here, but she kind of fights him 2 episodes later. It's like, yeah. But that's when she kind of figured he was potentially on the losing side. So
well,
like,
2 episodes later, she's like, I saved your fucking ass.
yeah.
Yeah. Phil, if she gets chapped lips, they will cut her head off because that's the only remedy in Westeros for chapped lips.
I didn't know that there was a person with a drag star with that name, Mendelin. Very cool.
But I think Sansa was totally pulling out her, hey, John, you know, you're my brother ish thing. And, you know, we can be friends and all that. But, you know, she, yeah, I think she deliberately held the army back. And that was her power play. That was her dropping the ace on the 7. That was at least my take on it. And the more I watched, the more I think that.
I feel like she kind of made a mistake, but she doesn't trust John. She doesn't trust anyone after everything she's been through. So I don't blame her for this, but I do see what people are saying. But that goes back to that inner dialogue, and you don't know what the hell she's thinking. You're just looking at it from the outside, judging. And that is kind of the issue with this here, in my opinion. I do think she should have spoke up, but to his point, she did speak up a couple of times, but I don't know. I know she has learned from the best, from Cersei and Baelish, and even Tyrion.
If you don't play to win, you're going to lose.
Yeah. Sasuke or Sarah brings up a good point of that we're all forgetting that she also had she's super fucked up in the head because of having to face her rapist husband again. Yeah. Like seeing a person who's raped you multiple times and like have to face them.
Yeah, she does have some serious PTSD. I do agree with that.
To kind of withhold back and stuff. Yeah. Oh, Phil, we're just pretty much talking about everything before the battle goes down. But yeah, I understand that there's people that just like, I don't like her, but it's like, yeah. And now going back on it and like watching this again after watching season 7, you're kind of like, why didn't Jon and Dany have a fight like that about battle strategy or something like that? Because that would have just been funny.
Doesn't understand battle strategy. Dany's burn them all.
Yeah, you would think she'd be like, no, I want to do this, but you want to do that. It's like that would have been just funny. Just to laugh.
I would just say that Sansa's portrayal as being like she's emotionless sometimes or stuff doesn't seem to bother her. That's the mask she's made for herself. Her armor that she wears. It's the only thing she's got. She is a faceless person in a sense. That's why her and her sister have so much in common, but are exact polar opposites.
No, I think this episode shows that, and this is just my take, but I think holding back the army, she was out Baelishing Baelish.
Yeah, it's
and she doesn't have, why would you trust Jon? You haven't seen this fucker in 5 years.
And you hated him before when you were children.
Yeah, he's your bastard half brother. Like, yeah, you hugged him when he saved your ass when you went to the wall because you had nowhere else to go, but it doesn't mean you trust him. Because what happens every time you trust somebody, Sansa?
Yeah, she trusted Baelish, and look where that got her. A rapist for her husband. And a sadistic person for her husband. So, anyway, moving along, we'll talk about Davos and Tormund and the sour goat's milk. Before Davos,
sour goat's milk.
Before Davos ultimately comes upon Shireen's funeral pyre, which was the episode that I was on with Luke. So, haha, that's funny. Go ahead, everybody. Johnny?
Well, I mean, honestly, I really want to know, how does the sour goat's milk taste, Luke? I know you've tried it. You've tried everything. You're drinking O'Doul's right now, so it's pretty funny.
It's actually it's not too bad. Have you had a White Russian? It's just like that, but a little bit more creamy and way more sour.
So it's like some fermented whey.
Yeah, it's halfway whey.
How about that alcohol they make with the spit? Anyways, let's talk.
Yeah,
I plead the fifth on that one. I can't comment on that legally.
But no, okay. So going back to, and it's fun to see Tormund and Davos really talk, and it really exemplifies how human Tormund is. Still kind of keeping with that aspect of trying to humanize the wildlings even more. They tend to pound certain things, and we've noticed. Hashtag take that out of context. But I think there's a little camaraderie there. But Davos wants a clear mind. He always has to have a clear mind before a battle, and I like that little subtlety here because that is one of Davos's key personality traits. He literally sits up all night and thinks about what's to happen the next day before a battle, which most men do. They'll either do that or they'll get drunk as shit. Or you have the psychopaths who are just happy and they get a good night's rest right before a battle.
Well, Davos isn't a warrior. I mean, he makes that clear. Like, for any of you Dungeons and Dragons nerds out there, like, Davos is the thief in my party. Like,
total rogue. Rogue.
He's yeah, I'm sorry, I'm using first edition terms.
It still applies.
But like Davos isn't like going out there like, hey, let's fight. You know, he's like, hey, we've got some crab meat here. You know what crab meat?
Fermented crab.
Fermented crab meat.
Well, he would be obsessive about smuggling the same way too. That's what made him such a great smuggler and a rogue. Definitely agree with you on that. I'm just saying, yeah, that's just one of. Does he even drink? Have we seen Davos drink at all? I don't think he does.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Maybe he will in season 8.
I hope. I mean, personally,
I'm pretty sure he had something in the books.
You do have scenes where he drinks, but you never see him drink in excess.
I think we've really been missing out on the Davos as scoundrel type character. I mean, that's his background. That is his skill set specifically. And we saw that a little bit when he was with Stannis, because Stannis was there when he benefited from Davos's scoundreliquisms, for lack of a better term that actually exists. And I think Davos is brought into the group that he's with now on a much higher, like, right of ability than he was for Stannis. Stannis brought him up as this scoundrel character to be like, wow, you were effective. I'm going to punish you for this thing that you did, but I appreciate what you did. and your skill set that you bring along with it. I'm going to make you my hand. And Jon just sees him as Stannis' hand. And it moves into this like similar realm of not necessarily, I don't know if Jon really knows Davos's background really, right? I mean, like maybe rumors, but Jon's not the most politically savvy, the most historically savvy person around. He just sees Davos as someone that Stannis respected and trusted. I don't know. I haven't really opened up his perspective on that before, but maybe I'm missing something.
It's probably due to his esteem that Stannis had for Davos. Like, you named him Hand of the King, so it's like,
he's clearly valuable.
Good quality. Like, because it's mentioned in episode 8, actually, where Sansa is like, so you got 62 men from a 12-year-old, and this guy happens to be, I guess, you're like acting like man in charge besides you. He's like, he was the Hand of the King for Stannis for years, and he helped get us those 62 men.
Those 62 men. They're worth 10 of a normal man.
Yeah. So it's like, he sees Davos's weight and value. It's just obviously that it's not really his declared Hand of the King in a sense.
Mm-hmm. I just find it interesting that Davos carries as much weight and like social cachet as he does, even with Jon, which Jon is a very merit-based person. He's only seen Davos make strong choices, I guess. Like, we've seen it. I think there's always a big distinction of what we, the viewer, have seen compared to like putting yourself in that character, dealing with them at that time's perspective would be. And I do think there's a bit of the show counting on the show watcher's perspective, carrying Davos into this relationship, which is fine because Davos is amazing. We know that. But like, what does Jon really know about Davos other than Stannis respected him and chose him? He's made some good choices around him, but I don't know. It's maybe a little heavy-handed. And I'm kind of with Sansa of like, well, like what's he really bringing to the table? 62 men? Like, that's about it right now.
Like, Jon doesn't get his skill set, and Sansa doesn't get his skill set either.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, 62 men off of Bear Island, like 62 warriors off of Bear Island.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty high percentage.
It's absolutely. It's probably about 98%.
Yeah, you know.
All it kind of boils down to is Davos's resume was not checked before he was promoted.
He literally got the job off of references.
Yeah, the resume wasn't checked. So, it didn't matter. It was just you just come highly regarded.
I have to sideline for a second because I had a boss once that we had a bar manager at a property that I used to work at, and my goddaughter's father worked with me there, and we had a manager who took this job and was just beyond inept, which I am not saying about Davos at all. But I think this is one of the most hilarious things I've ever heard. He's like, yeah, his resume was more padded than a 12-year-old's bra.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, his resume speaks for itself in the viewer's perspective, right? But Jon he hasn't watched the show. Jon Snow hasn't seen the show. Tyrion would probably respect what Davos brings to the table. They talk about it later on with like, wow, we've been at the Blackwater. Unlucky for me is what Davos says. But like, I don't know. Like, there's just nobody there that has experience with what Davos actually does other than just like, oh, we got drunk and had a conversation. You're my guy. Like, yeah, we're at the wall. And guess what? We get to know each other.
Like, he's not the party's fighter.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Davos can roll an extra 64 on his backstab, but, you know, okay, I just got way too nerdy there. But he's not the party's fighter. Like you know, and it's funny that he gets thrown into this figurehead position too. I really like that because I do think it's ironic that he's been put in this position for leadership, in this position of like almost being iconic, because all Davos has ever tried to do is like hide in the shadows. It's kind of like, hey.
Fair points.
Yeah, there's also the two of following Jon, and he's not a king. I want these two men to find out that Jon is actually technically a king, and see how they react. They're like, "Wait, what?" Because
Like, oh really? Wow. We gotta fight the army of the dead. I don't care. At this point, they're all so desensitized and numb. I mean, it's just, oh really? You're another target. Whatever. There's two of you left now. Just get on with it.
Get back to
the king, because he's the king in the north.
the king in the north.
My girl calls him first.
My girl.
Not in this episode, but yeah. He's
Oh.
the king in the north.
Lyanna Mormont.
Yeah.
She's not really much in this episode, but
Oh.
she is on.
Oh, but
I
when
did
she
wanna-
is, that meme mug is just awesome.
I do want to say about Davos, what he brings to the table. It is confirmed that he's an awesome midwife. And if you can give birth to a shadow baby, I know he didn't. I'm just being an ass here. He will
Cheers.
give birth to the magical baby in season 8.
Cheers to that, for sure.
Also, like you said, Johnny, he will soothe the magical baby of Jon and Dany with his
Built-in pacifiers.
yeah. Because Davos is great with kids, especially young kids.
He has all the tools, literally, to be a great caretaker.
Good, so Davos for a nanny. And then the second part.
The onion nanny.
The
I
onion nanny.
couldn't even say it.
No, the even better is the onion au pair, which is like another name for a nanny. There you go. The onion au
You got
pair.
too fancy on me.
You went French Canadian on. He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second part of this, after Davos sees Shireen's body, or not body, the funeral pyre, and he obviously recognizes what has actually happened to her because it never was fully stated, and it's like, because Mel didn't tell you, and he sees the wooden stag, and it's like, fuck. I realized that this is what's actually happened to her, even though he figured it. And then the horns blow, signaling the new day has approached. But also, Jon meets with Mel and is like, "I'm gonna be the brooding guy and say, don't bring me back," because Jon, Sansa did mention to Jon that if he lost, that she would basically kill herself, which a lot of people were kind of like, probably. If we lose Jon, we also lose Sansa, so it's like a yay kind of thing, maybe.
So what are they gonna do with Jon? They set him up in a weird situation. Y'all know this, right? Like, if I die, don't bring me back. But if he dies again, that's 2 deaths. Isn't that redundant? Or is she gonna bring him back again? Like, it gets to this point where, wow, the only thing they can do is he live at this point where I'm satisfied with it. But they set up foreshadowing in many different directions, in my opinion, with this.
He wants to be a zombie like Beric Dondarrion. I mean,
Beric
Beric can't remember what food tastes like. He can't remember the touch of the woman he loved.
Well, not in the show. In the show, he doesn't. He's just kind of missing an eye. He can taste his own eye.
Still alluded to in the show, like even though certain things are left out, I think it's alluded to. And
Yeah, he says a little part of me doesn't come back every time.
Yeah, and I think Jon is just like in there. I don't think he wanted to be brought back the first time. I mean, I have my personal theory about how things are going to end. Johnny is going to survive, and he's going to go sit and brood in the cave. That's
Assuming he can find that cave again.
Yeah, he's going to sit and cry in the cave thinking about the Lord's kiss.
I don't know about all that. I do think there's another redhead out there for him that some people are shipping that say that it's completely impossible, but it would be something to throw at everyone. And it would be a perfect political marriage, even though if it doesn't happen, it would make sense in the thrones aspect. But, you know, I'm not saying it because it's blasphemy to say it. I'll get trolled.
Oh, because the night is dark and full of trolls.
The night is dark and full of terriers, little dogs.
Yep.
Not a bad night, all in all.
I fucking hate this.
Now, what do you think, AK? We haven't heard from you in a minute. And Mackenzie's stepped up.
She's drunk. That's what I think.
I am slightly tipsy, yes, but we knew this going in.
And I approve of.
That was information that I already told you.
I believe in you, AK. I believe in you, my friend.
I think
don't
I'm
know
always,
why, man. I'm so simple.
I think I'm always slightly tipsy, if I remember correctly.
Like, I hate to say this, but it's not. All we see is political marriages throughout this whole damn show. It's not out of the realm of possibility, is all I'm saying.
Now, someone, I don't remember who it was, but someone had brought up Sweet Robin marrying Lyanna. And under normal circumstances, I could see that happening. But for here, they're both heirs to their lands. So I don't know how that would work in succession, especially since it's Lyanna. Lyanna's not going to want to go to anywhere far from Bear Island.
I agree.
Put up with Sweet Robin's bullshit.
Lyanna would be like, you little pussy.
Yeah, but I'm assuming there was a question before Luke said that I was drunk, and yeah, I totally am.
I don't know. I think I stepped away for a second when you all started talking about Jon and Dany versus Jon and Sansa.
I like turtles.
Which, hey, you know, I'm not opposed to it, but
I mean, if you look at the original outline for this story, it was supposed to be Arya and Jon. And when it comes to any of the other houses, marriages in general in that world, you can't really hold them to our world's standard. I mean, they operated the way they did all over the place. It wasn't just one single house doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And plus, since they already gave Sansa Arya's plotline with the whole Ramsay situation, they could give Sansa that either in the maybe more in the book than the show, but there was a couple shots that make you a little bit suspicious in the trailer about that. You're like, but I won't delve into that too much, but it just makes you go,
I don't know. Well, Dany has to choose between love and her kingdom. Which will she choose? Stay tuned for next week's episode of Game of Thrones.
Exactly. Season 8.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything.
Well, thank you.
There's like making shots you look and you go, But yeah, so I missed something, but that's okay.
I don't know. I disagree with some of those non-deadly statements.
What?
In Fire and Blood, those kill people all the time. In ASOS, they kill people all the time. Both parts of male and female. They're responsible for many deaths. Just the genitalia in general is just, that's why Varys is so much better off.
I looked over and I'm looking at Elmar's statement. She said vaginas are not as deadly What the hell are y'all talking about, Luke?
No, what Luke's done.
I don't know. Because
All right, well, I'm gonna shout out T Baby real quick
because Luke said that the moon door is a euphemism for vagina.
I
Oh,
would
thought it
say
was asshole.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. I mean, come on.
true, but I would put it more akin to, for anyone that's watching American Gods, the quote unquote vagina nebula. That is
That's the one thing that makes me go, what is this show?
But then again, think about it though. If you had to die in that universe, by any means, the best one to pick is fucking Bill Quist. Just saying. Get sucked into the vagina nebula and you're like having an orgasm for all the rest of your spirit, your afterlife life.
Clarissa, hashtag glams with D.
What did I open up? I don't really apologize.
Blame you, man.
But I will second the. I haven't actually watched. I haven't actually watched American Gods, but I am a big Neil Gaiman fan. I read the book, the first book, and I also highly recommend Neil Gaiman's Norse Gods, Norse mythology book that goes along with it. Really, really fucking good. I'm planning on watching the American Gods after season 8. That's like number 1 on my list of things to get into after season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, definitely. And also, speaking of other books by Neil Gaiman, Anansi Boys is lightweight, like 1.5 American Gods. It was American Gods first, then Anansi Boys, which is a continuation from the Anansi character in the previous book, and then to the Norse Gods.
Shout out.
If you don't know who Neil Gaiman is, you're missing out on some cool shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Can I just take that and ride on it for a second?
Hold on just a second. Can I say shout out to Phantom Saint? Vagina Nebula dives into Cersei. Love it.
You know he would. We all know he would. That's not even a surprise.
He was just waiting until we started.
I can't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, Lita Headey is sexy.
Have you seen 300? Any of them? There's 2 of them at least. Good grief.
Just look at Lena. You're just like, oh. Anyway. I don't know where we are anymore.
Yeah, before you stepped away there,
Rickon's about to be let go, basically. We're starting to the battle.
No, yeah, we talked about Rickon.
Fandom D Saint is also when I did that in the trailer, go my queen thing with my arm. So because he did it with Cersei, so it's like I do the same thing because hey, Team Wildfire, me and John. Speaking of,
do you think John feels guilty that
I did not choose Team Wildfire? Team Wildfire chose me.
Yeah, but going back,
I'm gonna ride it like Moon Boy.
Going back to the just Rickon for one quick the shot with the Rickon, because I know we've all talked about it before, is if John had led his horse up until where he stood, he would have saved Rickon. Like, god damn it. Because he dies literally however it is in real feet in terms of the show. Because on the show it's like this much. Because it's so zoomed up. But if he walked the horse all the way up to where he's standing and then ran up, he would have gotten him. But you have to get off the horse, walk all the way, because you have to run back, get on the horse, and run forward. But anyway, that was my quick grip on that. What were you saying, AK?
I was just moving on to the next scene where we get Lord Leroy Jenkins running in headstrong, ignoring the plan completely, and he has so much plot armor that any blade or person or even horse that comes near this guy gets deflected. A whole hail of arrows dropped in a circle around him. Not one of them even grazed him.
Do you think he feels guilty about that and it only took 1 to kill Rickon?
I don't know.
Let's do the.
I think he feels horrible that he couldn't save Rickon. I don't know if it's that exact that he survived arrows when Rickon didn't.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. It's kind of like a slap into Rickon's face. You know, like he could have. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from that, but a gust of wind or something.
Shout out to AU in the chat. I just noticed you here.
AU Pack Mew. Hi, Uncle AU. If y'all don't know who AU is, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. Sub to this man's channel. He's the awesomest uncle of the fandom, and you'll love him.
Yeah.
AU is a good guy. Can confirm.
He even puts up with me.
Luke, I just noticed that you have the Funko on your hat, and it's perfect.
Smarmy
because-
Luke Hart as Melee's the Monstrous.
That is Smarmy Luke Hart. The fact that you know Smarmy Luke Hart, I'm a little bit aroused right now.
have a vestigial
let's
head.
move past. I'm going to mute myself.
You have a vestigial head growing from the bill of your cat, man.
Bailey's the Monstrous is also the perfect. He fumbled, but he's good. It's flat bill strength, I guess. But yeah, check out at Smarmy Luke Hart on Twitter and Instagram. It's a thing. Follow Hogwarts Radio and Not Named Podcast for more on that.
You just got Van D8's attention because
I know. I did it for him.
Right,
It was.
you are now his new.
Oh no! You just
And
killed
now
the
his
Funko.
watch has ended.
He was literally living in the Hog's Head mug until I filled it up. That's why I picked him up. So
Now
I'll
we
get
all
him
gotta
back.
go to
Don't worry.
mass.
I'll mute myself until then.
What are you saying, Donnie?
We're all holding mass for Smarmy Luke Hart now. We're gonna go to the wake.
Yeah, a prayer service. Oh, he's back. He got revived, just like
Drinks
John.
and drops things. They say.
No, Luke is the leader.
He was kissed by fire. Luke is secretly Barrack, and we didn't know.
Don't give away the secrets.
Uh-oh.
Also, Crimes of Grindelwald is the best J.K. Rowling Wizarding World movie. So let's continue.
Okay, we've spent like the past hour plus ripping this episode apart. Let's gush about how good this battle scene is.
We haven't talked about the battle.
Yeah,
at
we're like an hour and a half.
We're still into the first 15 minutes
mean,
of the
well,
episode.
No, not really. I
And
mean, I
maybe
guess,
it equates for 20 minutes, I think.
It was a joke.
But I get where you're coming from.
I'm just talking about how well shot it is.
Yes. All praise Miguel Sapochnik.
it absolutely is. This is one of my favorite battles. It does not top The Wall to me,
Okay.
but it is probably definitely in my top 3, I would say, and I enjoyed it immensely. You know, even with the random symbolisms that were put in there, I thought it was pretty freaking cool. And you know, once we did get around towards the end, and it seemed like our heroes were going to die. You know, John got his Gandalf and Éomer going on, and you know, at the 5th horn blast, we looked to the east, and the riders of Rohan, the riders of Vale, rode into battle and came in and fucking wrecked shop like what's his name did in The Return of the King. And I think it was pretty freaking awesome.
Theoden the second.
Theoden, yes. And if you notice, Theoden's forces were not as big as the orcs, but they came in wrecking fucking shop.
Shields shall be shaken.
Horses.
Spears shall be broken.
Today,
A red day. Fucking
and
awesome.
the sun fucking rises.
I will talk about Lord of the Rings for days. Let's move past this quickly.
I'm just saying, if y'all ever get that podcast going, hit a sister up. You know, I'm
Kenzie's sitting here like nerds.
Nerds.
Nah. I haven't delved into that fandom yet, so.
Okay, but yeah, back to this battle.
A sword.
It was epic.
A red Dave.
I'll send you a book, Kenzie. The first one's free.
Oh my.
As if we needed any more things to read.
Exactly. Sasuke says, was the other guy with Ramsay in the initial confrontation the day before? Not the Umber dude, Yellow Dick. I don't know if they named him in the show, but they forgot to name. That is what, like, asking who the person was.
Nimble? Is she trying to say, is it Nimble Dick?
Yellow Dick. Well, the people that Ramsay's horses stand beside is Small John Umber and Harold Karstark.
Yeah.
And then it's, I guess, in the back, because those are the only two people that showed allegiance to the Boltons.
Correct.
So,
It's on the tip of my tongue. Hashtag
What?
phrasing.
yeah.
Yeah. Some eggplant.
This battle scene is so well shot, so well done. Johnny and I both nerd out about good combat and good fighting and things like that. And in a lot of telly, it's so poorly done. It's unrealistic. And the way they do the steady cam shot, and it's just like, hey, and this thing's coming at you, and yeah, like there were a whole bunch of Deus Ex Machina going on for Jon Snow in this episode, but it still gives you that feel that you're actually there. Yeah, I agree with you, Alicia. Fracking brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely one of the best. I love it. I love the music that came in behind it. The cinematography was on point, and we all know that war is a horrible, disgusting thing, and they showed all of that, and it was just spectacular to behold. And Luke, Johnny, when y'all jump in, what y'all got?
I got nothing. No.
Really? I was about to say, you have nothing?
I mean, the only thing it was awesome how it was shot. One of the few things that's hard to pull off is a single person evading everything, as you've talked about before, and then still making it look somewhat believable. But we do know that John's on this hero's journey, and that he is a savior, and Danny is somewhat portrayed as a savior. We'll see how that goes, but in this instance, love the sword play. We'll talk a little bit later about the archers in the background of the Ramsay scene. But as far as this, I think someone in the chat made a point about 1-1 when they surrounded them. That 1-1 probably could have broke through that line. And it's a good point.
Yeah, and I did have an issue with the archers, but
possibly
they were better than.
We talk about that every time there's a Game of Thrones episode with archers.
They were better than Battle of the Bastards. They didn't hold for as long. They pretty much, it's like as soon as they drew, it was much faster than at the wall where they're holding, and then they let it loose.
Yeah, it was only a minute as opposed to 3.5. But still, a human body can't do that.
No.
So,
computer generated people can.
Yeah, I was very surprised that 1-1 didn't just go fucking ham and hey, I'm gonna fucking guess what? I had success breaking through any of this wall and just fucking walk through. And guess what? 55, there goes Smarmy Lookhart. 55 fucking Northerners are gonna follow through with you. Just broach the line, and they're gonna be a lot better off. I appreciate this encirclement that happens, this surrounding that happens. It's very there are a lot of historical precedents for this kind of happening, but break through. You have this card to play. Just fucking do it. It's one of the consolidations of the show again that we can't make this probably 25-30 minute battle true enough to be a 60 minute, a 5,500 minute battle, which that's an insane amount of minutes. Bad exaggeration. But my point is we don't have the natural development of a battle scene. It has to be all rushed. It has to, in certain choices that are made by characters that can speak and or not speak in common tongue are always questioned, and it's easy to make the dumb looking character make a stupid looking choice because he could have just walked through and opened that wall there. But I'm not really hating on it. It's more of, say it again.
A sidekick. Yeah, that's all I needed. Just a sidekick.
I'm not a sidekick.
Wax on, wax off. Walk through the line. Like that, you'd have been fine, right? I mean, it probably would have worked. At least give it a shot. Like, not just swat. Like, not just wax off. You also have to wax on a little bit. I don't know. It's very cinematographically beautifully done, and it's a wonderfully shot scene. It's very entertaining. I love it, but like when you break down the narrative of it, it loses believability at times.
I do question why 1-1 didn't have like a half a tree in each hand and wasn't just going Hulk smash the whole time.
Smash. Yeah.
It kind of like degrades the scariness. Like when season 7 opens up and you see the white giants, right? It kind of degrades my worry about that a bit. You know, it's like, fine, okay, whatever. Have a couple spears and you're fucking fine. It's totally different than the Watchers on the Wall episode when 2 giants, just 2 of them with a mammoth, yes, take down the fucking gate, and it's totally different. Like it's one of those, over time the show shows you how powerful certain things are, but they have to maintain that upping of power levels that we're dealing with throughout the existence of the show. So it's all relative. Every time we talk about something, we also have encountered something that's even more powerful. So even giants at this point are being downgraded in their ability and their strength. And I don't know, it's just kind of, it kind of cuts into, like, because this is a very personal battle. Like, that's the fundamental thing of this. It's incredibly in your face. It's incredibly personal, especially with what Jon goes through. And that's kind of the power behind why this is such an effective cinematic achievement, is they keep you personable with it. But when you take the power of literally a fucking giant out of it, it kind of takes you out of the believability of it. This guy's 16 fucking feet tall. Like, good God. He could fucking walk through this line with no goddamn problem. And they take that believability away from you, and it makes you second guess it while you're watching it, which just kills it for me.
Yeah, it's
enough.
You can kind of see now, like rewatching it, that there's a lot of CGI involved, especially with Ian.
Especially Ghost.
Yeah, I know. Ghost is just, he travels.
We're not going to see Ghost. We're going to see a shadow cat. We're going to see a mammoth. We're going to see 3 white giants. And
an ice spider.
The dragons for 2 episodes before they all die. And then other than that, we're getting all just Jon walking through the forest for 2 episodes. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Sulking through the forest. Ice Krakens.
We got to get direwolves. We got to get Nymeria and Ghost.
Yeah. And then there's that whole thing about Nymeria and Ghost and what they're going to do to have wolf puppies. It's like,
I don't know about all that, but I hope we see them.
That's common in the animal kingdom, though. I mean, look at a lion's pride. There's only ever one male there. And if you missed it, I'm sorry to ruin your childhood, but Nala and Simba were probably brother and sister. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. Well,
more than likely,
she already has a mate. I'm pretty sure they can interbreed. I'd have to look into that.
Dyer's Hest.
Well,
Happy.
No, dire wolves are regular wolves.
Simba's last name was Lannister, so.
Well, not just Nala and Simba were siblings. Also, Simba probably stabbed Nala's dad while he was hiding behind a rug.
Yeah.
But
No, Abby, the best whited animal is something I can't say because it would spoil something. Ben.
Oh,
if
Something I
anybody
said the other day on a podcast for
if
y'all.
anybody get that, please let me know.
but Abby's like, I kind of dislike all your valid points. I just want to like this battle. Stop it with intellectual facts.
How dare you bring logic into the conversation? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
It's not
like,
what we do here.
The whole battle sequence in itself, it's well done. You can tell that it did take like 23 days or 24 days to finish, just because of the amount of like work that had to be done. The one shot that we get, very well done. It's like the third time that they've used a one shot, and it's always on Jon until we get the one in season 7 where it's on Braun, excuse me. But they like to use the one shot, which is pretty cool. And then the one thing that is kind of suspend your disbelief is the crowd of like how they were able to make the wall of the dead bodies. It's like, who is dragging all of these dead bodies to make this mountain of dead bodies? Like to get them all into that one spot. It's like, huh? Because it's like, I'm just gonna throw a bunch of dead bodies. Like whoever's just the one person who wasn't getting killed. It's like, I'm just gonna throw all these dead bodies or dying people onto this pile. Just leave me alone. But then when you get the crush, which is the one thing that they tried to plan against, the crush of them doing the said crush, and it's just like, is all hope going to be lost? And then Jon falling, and the Stark theme playing as he's like standing up. It's just so awesome. And then you get the Stark theme, and then the horn blowing, and the mirroring of what Dany did in season 3. At the end of season 3, and you see Sansa coming out of nowhere, and you're like, yes! But because it's just like, they're all gonna live. Dun dun dun. And obviously we'll get to it, but when Jon breaches, or 1-1 breaches the gate at Winterfell, and it's just, 1-1. We lose 1-1. He showed up not too long ago. We loved him, but pouring out for 1-1.
Jon tried to touch him. If he wouldn't have touched him, he wouldn't have got killed. No, I'm kidding. It takes the arrow right to the eye, man. It's pretty.
Yeah, fucking
pretty
Ramsay. And that's another thing I was saying with 1-1. By the time they did get up to all of that, he was tired. I mean, giants are extremely strong, and they do have a larger endurance for physical exertion than humans do, but they still get tired also. And by the time he got to the gates of Winterfell, you saw all of that fatigue in his body. And unfortunately, Ramsay was able to take him out. But, Ramsay still being the dumbass that he is, like, we should go ahead and fight one-on-one. And what does Jon pick up? He doesn't even fuck with a sword. He picks up a shield with the House Mormont sigil on it. Here I fucking stand. Bitch, let's go. Let's go ahead and do this. 1 arrow. You missed. 2 arrows. Do you know who the fuck I am? 3 hours. Bitch, I'm about to kill your ass. Another arrow goes off, and that's a fucking wrap on Ramsay. He gets his face beat the fuck in. But, Jon stops himself when he sees Sansa. That battle lust had gotten to him for a minute. But he saw Sansa, he remembered his lessons. Whoever gives the sentence must swing the sword.
No, I think he saw Sansa and he says, hey, this is yours.
Yeah, that's it. The sentence was Sansa's to give, and he gave her Ramsay, and she learned that lesson. She swung the damn proverbial sword, and that was a fucking wrap for Ramsay Snow's bastard ass, and I was not mad. He fucking deserved it.
Can I ask one quick semantic question?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I will mute myself.
Go ahead. What's up?
How was there a Mormont shield on the ground in Winterfell right when Jon gets there?
You gotta wonder.
Right?
You gotta wonder.
Winterfell paints all the shields for the north, and that's where the only little shield painting shop
Well,
is. It's
Well,
'Cause
there
it
was people who ran. Well,
listed in the fucking building.
don't you remember there was people that had run in before Jon did? So someone who was there who probably got shot by one of the Boltons / one of the men that was on the side of the Boltons probably killed the person with the shield.
Well, I didn't actually watch this today, but I thought it was
Jon
just
runs
the
in now.
3 of them that ran up there.
You get one at the gate, but Jon doesn't show up until some people run in and start shooting arrows.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's a little different. Because I just remember like the screenshot of Sansa seeing the 3 of them, Jon, Tormund, and Tormund running up there, being like, "Are you kidding me? Like you're making this choice?" Like, because they have that pulled back view of Sansa seeing Jon peel off with 1-1 and Tormund, and I guess at the gate when 1-1 breaks through, there's a couple people that run through first.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Well, yeah, there's 1-1 that breaks through, and then there's few people that run around him while he's taking all these arrows, and then
Jon's really slow.
A bunch of wildlings are shooting them. I guess it's to make it more dramatic that when he runs in, and then it's like right when 1-1's essentially dying, and then he just goes, and then like the arrow through the eye.
That's right. That's right.
Got you.
So it's either a wildling or one of the soldiers that was able to survive, just picked up a Mormont shield and just ran in. Defend as best as you can.
I really thought it was a really strong scene of Jon not really fighting. It was playing defense just to get close enough to just be like, you know what? You're kind of being a total puss about this. And I'm literally going to beat you to death until he makes the choice not to because of sister reasons, which we all get. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, in his position, I think I would have done the same. And I got my get back as the older sibling protecting my little sister. But right now, you got to deal with her ass. And
I can't take her revenge for her. All I can do is take my own position and force the situation that makes it pretty straightforward for my younger sibling to go ahead and get their vengeance that's owed.
Exactly. And I honestly think Sansa needed that. That was a part of her healing. She let that Stark wolf blood actually shine through. And I think that was one of Sansa's best moments when she's walking away from that cage. She's like, "Oh, my dogs will never attack me." But you've been starving them for the past 7 days.
Right.
Yeah, but they're loyal. And she was like, "Yeah, but they're hungry." And he tries to give that command to stand down. And that first bite, that sound from his throat was just so delicious. And Darth Sansa turned and walked away. And as the camera panned out, we saw that little smirk. And I was here for it. Mm-hmm. You fucking right, Sansa. Go on, get you that revenge. You deserved it. Yes.
Yeah. Johnny, what do you feel about the throat punch? The punches.
The throat punch. Yeah, I did like the shield shot. That should have crushed his larynx, broken orbital. That should have put him out. To be honest, yeah, people can take that many punches because you have to hit people on the right. I won't get into that aspect. The shield should have destroyed him though. There shouldn't have been much after that except him hitting a limp body. But it was good. You had to have that. I mean, you felt like you wanted to be there. I wanted to be the one punching him. I actually would have thrown some nice 12-6 elbows right down on his nose. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of something there. Also, this isn't, there's no rules like in MMA, so I could do knees to the head on the ground. Oh yeah, man, it'd be very fun. But Yeah, to y'all's point, I think it was pretty. It's almost like a gesture of faith towards Sansa, and like you did good, and it's not that she needs his approval, but he's like, yeah, I realize who you are now. I understand. I get it. I get why you were, you didn't do this, and like I get it. That's why I think he's not that upset about her not telling him about the Army of the Veil. I think that's why he doesn't get that upset about it.
Yeah. With the whole punches, if you count them, I think it's 21 punches or like throws that Jon gets in it, because I've watched this episode so many times that I've counted, which is kind of funny. And with the whole taunt me again, get me again, and obviously he punches and throws down. You're almost just like, yes, because you want this so bad. And then some people are like, why did like the Sansa hater people are like, why did Sansa interrupt this? It's like, because it's not Jon's kill. This, like, Jon has nothing to do with the killing of Ramsay. This is Sansa's kill, and he knows that and accepts that, and he willingly gives him to her. The one thing that kind of makes you go, what? Is obviously when they've collected all the bodies from outside, and Jon says, I want Rickon buried next to my father, and Sansa goes, where did Ramsay go? It's like, what? It's like, didn't you see him be dragged away somewhere? It's like, that's the one line that I'm just like, what? It's like you like, oh, it's like, oh, I'll go get Ramsay. It's like, you could have made a different line than, Jon, where is he? It's like, you probably saw where he went. But anyway, that's the one gripe that I have with that specifically 5-second scene. And then yes, when Sansa gets her kill and she kills Ramsay, it's just like, yes. But it's like, so it must have been 2 weeks at least since 601, because that's when Miranda's body has been recovered. And 602, sorry, because Miranda and Fatwalda have been fed to the hounds, so it's obviously been longer than that. Since that time, so it's like maybe a month, I guess. But since it's been the last episode, but Johnny, what do you think about the whole thing with you kind of talked about it. Never mind.
Well, I didn't get to talk about the dogs too much. I guess
you can talk about the
a
dog.
little bit about, I wonder what Ramsay's face tastes like. I wonder what Two Lips fucking tastes like. Because that's what's on his face.
I think actually, didn't James Franco do a cameo in this scene?
Yeah, my little Jack Russell Terrier got him some nuts this scene. Getting these nuts. Anyways, no, yeah. It was weird how it was almost like Ramsay was enjoying being eaten alive. It was in between sexual moans and moans of agony, which I found interesting. Yeah, he's just a psychotic shit to the very end. He couldn't even let Sansa have full satisfaction from it, which I find annoying, but awesome in a character as well. Blah blah blah. I'm shutting up now.
It's also with the dogs too, because those specific dogs, you can't be in the same room as them when they're on camera, so they had to film you and Rayon separate from the dogs. So it's like, it's funny to, like, if you watch the behind the scenes of that specific scene where he's just like sitting in the chair going ah, and then the dogs are just like eating his face. It's just really funny with that, because they're like, you can't look at the dogs in the eye because they're about to attack you.
I would have wished Sansa would have made him a reek. That'd have been poetic. After a little,
keep him around for an extra season, or at least an extra episode, like 610. But
It would have been hilarious, but I don't think it would have worked out very well in the end. I mean, look at the Children of the Forest and the White Walkers. They couldn't control that weapon that they made. I don't know that Ramsay would be very controllable in a Reek.
Well, if you gilled him, cut off both hands and one leg, I think you could trust him at that point after you've cut his tongue out and his nose off.
To take every single piece of him.
And then you just let him sit there and watch you live a happy life.
You have to take his hands too, so we couldn't write any letters or communicate with anyone, period.
Oh, that's the first thing you do, take both hands.
Both hands
and one leg and one foot.
What about his tongue and his tongue too?
By the way, these are my friends, and these are the people who I hang out with. So anyone out there in the chat, yeah, we're some pretty twisted individuals.
Yeah, John has a coffin full of guns.
Yeah, it's coffin.
Always got that Sarah Connor technique.
I
have a basement full of guns in a coffin.
I can dig it. You got guns. I got stabby weapons.
John, what do you do in the shadows?
None of your damn business.
None of your damn business. Yeah, this thing is awesome. It's so satisfying. I mean, you get so much satisfaction out of it. You really do. But I have to ask everyone else on the panel
to gush a little bit more.
Okay, I know everyone on the panel. This is in their top 5 deaths. Like, where does it fall? Because I know it's not below number 5. So I'm just curious where for everyone else. For me, it's my number 2.
I think I know who your number 1 is.
Yeah, you probably do.
Well, number 1 for me is Talissa the Spy. Then I'm gonna piss so many people off. Then
that bitch.
Abby will be like confused. She'll be like, "Huh? Who are you talking about?"
Girl from show.
Ramsay might break the top 5. Be right there at it for me. As far as Talissa goes, I'm just kidding. By the way, don't.
Hashtag girl from show.
I don't hate on you for it.
Hashtag Jane Westerling show.
I know, right?
We didn't get to do the Jane Westerling plot line. God damn it.
Why didn't they just do that? Like, why not? Just because so we can't predict it? Whatever.
Benji, stop it. Benji, no, don't do that.
Stab.
I mean, that's a good theory, though, honestly.
Number 1 was Roz. Abby doesn't even know who Roz is.
Number 1 was Roz. Why was Roz a good
Abby never knew who Roz was. Every time she came on, who is that redhead? She's the stand-in whore.
That's the only one with morals in the whole show.
Roz did not deserve it. No.
Abby, oh my gosh. If it's like, I don't know if Abby has gone to the part in the books, but it's like the fact that or not in the show. Well, they never disclose it in the show, but like the fact that John was just supposed to sleep. Well, they allude to it. They just never give her the name of John was going to lose his virginity to Roz.
That's true. Also, that's true.
He tried.
Abby, go back to Moldtown with your ideas.
Yeah, they tried. They did try to set him up with Roz, but he did not do it.
Abby grew up in Moldtown. That's right.
I would have liked to have seen Shataya instead of. But
Shataya,
I mean, Roz was a good character, but Shataya and Aliyah. I can't say the damn. There
Wasn't
you go.
her daughter Aliyah?
Yeah, Shataya was the daughter, right?
One of them. I don't remember which one.
Oh, Shataya was the mother.
Shataya was the mother. Aliyah was the daughter.
Right.
Okay. Because we can
from the Basilisk Isles. Is that correct?
Because Abby is caught up too. You can also say Alaria Sand. God damn it!
God damn it! She's a grown ass woman. God damn it!
Although it's an on-screen death. God damn it!
Don't get me started on Dorne.
Wait, they're not in this episode, and I don't want to ruin it. So.
What is there? What else are we talking about this episode? Did I miss anything on my pee break?
don't think.
No. I was just asking everybody's like 5 most satisfying deaths of all time, and where.
Okay, I got my 5. I got my 5. It's not particularly in order, but as I go, I can try to put it there.
I will claim that I am terrible at this, so.
Okay, I'm gonna say number 5 is probably the least favorite, and then number 1 is the most favorite.
Yeah.
So number 5, I'm gonna go with the High Sparrow, and this is only as far as the show. So number 5,
all show I think is fair.
Number 4 would be the Waif.
What a bitch.
Number 3 would be Joffrey. I honestly think his death should have been way more bloody. Number 2 would be Meryn Trent, and then number 1 would be Ramsay.
Okay,
it's a pretty solid set.
Ramsay and Meryn Trent got that extra hurtful, bloody death that they deserved, and I appreciated the hell out of both of those.
Mackenzie, do you have a set of 5 or at least like a top 3?
Okay, so although it's like not one that obviously everybody's like, yes, that it happened, a cool death, I'll just go put it off by basically like cool death. So if you get Tywin, it's pretty, even though it's not like obviously a cool death to be shot on the toilet, like the fact that he goes out that way by Joffrey's crossbow, so cool, and that whole scene in general. And then Joffrey kind of in the Purple Wedding, and also another like cool one that we can't, like 1-1 is a cool death because even he died a hero, and he gave Jon his home back essentially. And the number 1, I don't even know. It's like a whole, like, I don't like death, but it just, there's so many good ones that it's hard to say. And
it's kind of the show's strength, isn't it?
You can also say, like, Ygritte, even though she dies, it's a cool way that she's just able to go out.
You fucking steal her? I was gonna say that. Damn it.
And Ben says Grey Wind is his number 1 top death.
Now, I want to give a shout out to actually, sidebar favorite death, fucking Lancel.
Pycelle.
Lancel and Pycelle, yeah, Viserys, yeah.
So many. There's so many.
Yes.
There are so many.
Deserved it.
Uncle Benjen.
And that's why I'm asking, like, what
Zaran
Yeah.
John, it's a good question, John. It's a really good question.
I forgot about
Uncle Benjen with all the whites.
I don't think Benjen deserved it.
I'm talking about satisfaction.
Ollie for sure.
So, all right.
Hold on, everyone. Yeah, hold on.
Johnny, be crazy. What are your top 3 or 5 most satisfying deaths?
Satisfying, not just regular deaths, but deaths that were absolutely deserved. Not just someone that got killed in cold blood for no reason.
I think that's how John phrased it. It was most satisfying, correct?
I would go with Ollie.
Fuck Ollie.
Catelyn.
High five, Ben. Luke, sit. I'm sorry.
I
was actually going to throw Catelyn. Oh, you were saying Catelyn. I was going to throw Ollie. But anyway. I'm not going to say.
Obara.
I'll keep stating.
Obara Sand. Just the sand snakes in general. I'll just make them one.
They literally count as one character.
Yeah, one.
So.
They really do.
And Doran Martell, because I hated him. Not in the book, but
shut your blasphemous mouth, young man.
No,
in the books he's awesome. In the show, I can't stand him.
Show, not the book.
Like he brought everything upon himself. Oh, that's a
show
good
that.
debate for the hashtag They Deserved It stream. And the last one would be Balon Greyjoy.
That's a good. That's a good
one.
throw. That's
That's a good one. Yeah,
sure.
forgot about Balon.
Forget
Yeah,
about Balon. Didn't Eminem sing about that? Didn't he have a...
Balon gets
I mean,
thrown
was
over a bridge.
Balon really? Yeah, was Balon?
Forget about
really
Balon. He's tied from my basement.
He got thrown over the bridge by Euron. So.
Yeah.
But Balon technically won the War of the Five Kings, even because if you discount Tommen rising to become king, Balon technically. If you're basing it on technicalities of those specific
Did
five
he
people.
improve his position of power in any way, shape, or form? No, he did not. So sit down, Balon, have all of the fucking seats. You didn't win shit.
Mackenzie, I appreciate your point.
It's on a technicality of those four people dying before him.
And he even says that in the show, right? He's like, I outlived all of them.
So I
But guess
technically
what?
won.
That doesn't really mean a whole
That
lot.
don't mean
No,
shit.
That's what he misses.
He's the king of shit-stained rocks.
Johnny and I might be
Speaking
talking
of that,
about this tomorrow.
yeah, you and John will be talking about that tomorrow, or John.
We might
John
be.
and Johnny.
It's already been talked about.
Well, you'll
Making
be
it sound weird
showing
now.
it off
It's premiering tomorrow at noon.
In
Take out the Iron Island.
in the future past.
Look, can I do something really quick? I'm going to throw this out here
please
because
do.
I don't want to be the
Please
last
do.
one. But I'm going to rank this episode.
Mhm.
I'm going to give it 9 Ramsey rim jobs.
Oh my.
Oh Jesus, Murphy.
Oh my.
Use your
Mic
own
drop.
judgment on a rim job.
It is a good thing that you are not monetized yet, Kenzie, because that would be your demonetization right there.
You think so? Really? That's
Absolutely.
really?
Yeah, YouTube tripping nowadays. Oh yeah.
What if I said I wanted to polish your rim and you would give it to me as a job and then pay me later for it? People need to have their
how
rim
vague that
shine.
is. I believe in that.
Oh, we all forgot kind of Olenna Tyrell and her death. Pretty badass.
No, but we're talking
That
about
was a badass death, but not a satisfying death.
yeah.
First-
I would,
Depends on which side you're on.
So I actually
Just
haven't given my
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I guess top 3 because I don't know if I'm really bad at favorites. There have been so many really, really good ones. Like this show's strength really is killing characters that you kind of give a shit about and or fucking hate. It's one or the other. They're really good at killing characters you hate. They're really good at killing characters you love. I'm going to throw out Ned Stark. His death was pretty fucking solid. It was very much along with the books. And it's probably the most debatable and or story-driven thing that happens for all of the story in general.
satisfying.
That's not a satisfying death.
Satisfying. It's not satisfying. It's a good death, though, because it's very poignant and very character-driven for character to a fault. If you hate Ned, if you love Ned, you see why it got to the point that it did, regardless. And the show did a wonderful, wonderful job with his death, especially with the fallout of it, which is essentially the narrative for like everything we've seen that's not Dany. I do think Viserys' death is very satisfying. I think that's a very strong early in the season's death that's done very, very well. And I fucking hate Ollie. I really, really do.
Fuck Ollie and all of the damn ponies he rode in on fucking
And Egret's death is one that will go down in the books for me because I love gingers. No, Egret, I think, is a super powerful and impactful character for Jon, and Rose Leslie fucking kills it on taking Jon's character and making it what it becomes. Between Egret and Mance Rayder, Jon Snow is not what he becomes at all. And I fucking hate Ollie, but I like the way that Ygritte is taken out. It's very well done. It gives Jon the chance to see it and bemoan it, and I regretfully really appreciate the way that Ygritte was killed.
Yeah, and honestly, in all fairness for that, and I am not an Ollie fan. If y'all watched the Mad Queen's discussions from previous seasons, you will know I wanted to strangle that kid. However, the raiding party that Ygritte was in did slaughter his family. So, in that aspect, I can absolutely see his need for revenge at that point in time on Ygritte. All the extra shit that he put in later, but fuck him on that.
Like, I get it. I do. I get it.
It's so sad though, because I didn't like having to see Ygritte go.
But she's a ginger. Give her a chance.
Oh, baby boy, I know. I'm just like you do. I understand. Believe me.
Mackenzie, I got your back.
Me and my redhead folk. There's not too many of us.
I absolutely understand the sentiment because yes, Ygritte is not only a redhead, but she a badass redhead on top of that.
I know,
that's
right?
That's a turn on, doubly so.
Yeah, don't get me started.
I'm just saying, Ollie was justified in that kill.
Good thing the camera's only on a headshot.
That's okay. Because Abby says that she's still crushed by Ygritte. I think a lot of people, including Jon himself, for a long time were crushed by Ygritte's death.
Definitely.
So it's actually really funny. In the Blu-ray commentary, because we literally, for the podcast that Drinks and Knows Things, just did the 707 episode, and Kit was on the director's commentary, like the commentary of it, and Dave and Dan were talking about how they had headshots cut out of Rose Leslie, and they wanted to just like have it like either over Danny's face or like behind the bed just to make him feel terrible, because if you don't know, in real life, Kit Harington and Rose Leslie, they're a thing.
He put a ring on that shit.
Is that why both sex was so awkward?
Yeah. No, and every time
the director and all of them were sitting with Rose Leslie masks on.
So then that's got to make him want to feel a certain way during sex, like he doesn't want to do it, and they want him to portray that on film.
Because
you wouldn't sabotage your entire show like that.
About Rose Leslie.
I lost my headphones. Hold on.
Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be.
Yeah, it's just Let's
talk about Rose Leslie.
If you watch Brita, aka Foy Hexa, she does do a political John theory, which I pretty much stand behind because it's so good, and it's like an hour long, and it's like he's basically terrified the entire time, so he's just playing a political game. And plus, also too, maybe they're supposed to make it look like he's terrified because Bran is basically saying that he's the heir to the Iron Throne as he thrusts into Dany. Like, all the speculation that goes on. As I keep hitting my damn desk.
We're over it. It's okay.
Ygritte wasn't a satisfying death to me. It was poignant.
It's bittersweet.
Sure, but not satisfying.
I agree, and maybe I hijacked the question. I apologize.
That's okay.
I hate it. I miss Ygritte. I do.
Well, I kind of changed the question anyway, so it's fine.
That's why John's gonna hide in a cave and give the Lord's kiss to like the wall.
What?
The Lord's kiss.
Lucky wall.
Found this Fisher crack.
Abby, the boat sex looked great.
Natural springs, wet and moist.
And on that note,
deaths.
Yeah.
So with this episode specifically, what else is there? What have we not talked about yet?
I think
I
that's
gave
it.
my horrible ranking that got us demonetized. Even though we've already said even worse horrible things throughout this whole episode club.
Yeah,
We really
that's
haven't
right.
talked
Okay,
about Sansa doing the biting blow on Ramsay, right? Or did I?
Yeah,
yeah, we did.
you
I
might have been
missed
in the
that. I
bathroom for that.
apologize.
You can talk about it.
I missed that, but it was strong.
Yeah, speak your
It's
thoughts,
literally the exact dog breed that I have. So like that's always been cool to me. Of like, wow, Direpo's not just annoying.
You know, and I gotta give Sophie Turner the acting chops for this episode because it could have been pulled off a little more psychopathic, like her smile walking away, but it was just like a look of satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really well done because, like, I know if I were in her situation, walking away from that, I'd have been like, like high five, bro.
Not even walking away. I would have stayed and watched the first bite and then started laughing. Probably a good reason for me not to ever have superpowers, because can't even deny that I might be an anti-villain at different points. I don't know.
So don't give Alicia Kingston soup.
You've been warned.
Super powers. Terrible joke. Just awful. Like, who invited me? I'll see you guys later.
No, you have to give your rating.
Stop that right now. Yeah, you got to give your rating.
And
I think Johnny's the only one that gave his rating, so you're up next.
Oh, I'm gonna give this episode 9.25 out of 10 bobs. Just straight up bobs.
Bob
Newbies. Really strong. I like the overall historic narrative that they tell for paying homage to other historical battles. They do a really good job with battles to be fair. Some of the convenience that happens is just by nature of how short it has to be. I would always choose more. I will always choose more. And it's still an amazing episode, even though I give it a 9.25 bobs out of 10. I think 10 out of 10 bobs would be too much, if I'm going to be completely honest about it.
Oh no, we lost Johnny again.
Well, at least he gave his rating first.
He'll come back in a second.
Baptise, what's your rating?
I give this 9.75. Yes, drop that fucking belt in the scabbard because that's 9 pounds that you don't need.
All right.
It's an iconic scene. It's John being stupid, but he's like, hey, if I'm going to go be stupid, at least I'm going to be like stupid and kind of canny and not hang on to this 9 pounds that I'm not going to need because I'm going into battle. So, and it's such an iconic scene. I mean, it really is. Like, he drops the belt in the scabbard. He just pulls the whole thing off. And he's like, hey.
Every sword needs its sheath, like as we've talked about before.
Can I, in that vein, give a total shout out to Davos well after the fact, where he's like, well, we're way late on this at this point, and he fucking just takes the rest of the infantry in, where it's like we're kind of fucked. What does he say? What's his line there is amazing.
It says we might as well be taking shits back here. Follow. It's like he gets off his horse and he's like follow, and then he runs.
Yeah, because John's almost unsavable at this point, and Davos just follows through on, well, we might as well be fucking pussies back here. All we can do is contribute now. and he does with their 15 men.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had to do so much duplication with those, so it's like even less. Because I think the army actually, now that I remember it in the behind the scenes, I think like the behind the scenes, not just the commentary, was that the army was actually split in half, so they had to film half all the army with one side and then all the army with the other, and then when they actually had to film the clashing stuff, is that they split each all the stunt actors in half, and it's like you get to fight for these people and you get to fight for this side.
I like Sasuke's reading.
Yeah, there's so many funny ones in the chat. AK, what's your rating for this episode?
My rating for this episode, I think, is a 9.2 looks to the east for the awesome battle sequences that we got, both in Marine and at Winterfell. I think they're both great, and I heart them.
Very true. So, I'll give my rating for this episode, which is 9.5. Sansa provides the best doggy snack in the world. Or dog snacks with Sansa, or snacks with Sansa, or something. I don't know exactly. Doggy snacks.
That is not what I thought you were going to say when you said dog.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm like just half tired at this point. But some of the ratings in this, the little chat gave us: Imagination Realm 10 out of 10, Sansa's secretly saving shit, or John's gotta be quicker than that. Hashtag rip Rick on.
I love that commercial.
Ben gives this episode 9.75. Arrows to one's eye. Otila Angel 10 on the Rickon scale. Always a solid on the Rickon scale. Clarissa, who is on episode club coming tomorrow and in the next few days, 10 out of 10. Leona sneers. Linda Smith 10 out of 10. Santa saves the day. Sasuke 9.75. Happy shittings was one that she gave. Was the one? No. Or also screenshots of Lyanna Mormont's stank face on horseback the day before the battle.
The memeiest. The memeiest.
That's a good one.
The memes. Or 9.75 Miranese hammer pants. or the same, but Small John Umber had five heads. Sorry. 5 heads. Or 10 out of 10 from Otila Angel, Sassy Sansa Shade. There you go. That could have been mine. God damn it. I am Sassy Sansa. Damn it, that should have been my rating.
Sasa Sansa.
Sasa Shade. Sasa Shade.
Also, Attila Angel's kind of the worst. Can we all just agree on that?
It's Otila.
Otila Angel.
She changed her name for like a week and just was gone.
It's embarrassing. She's awful.
Just like, I don't even understand it.
God damn it, hashtag Ramsey Rim job.
Rod damn it. God damn it, Rod damn it.
Right. Every time Rod says some shit, I like this motherfucker more and more. Damn you, Rod.
Or Ben says Deus Ex Mockingbird.
This was not a Deus Ex Machina. I will defend that to the tits.
To the
tits.
Anyway.
No, I've given my argument. I think Sansa knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's why it's not a Deus Ex Machina, because she was planning this. She knew it was an option that fundamentally means it's not a play of the gods. It didn't come from true randomness. Someone knew that this was an option.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point. And I want to throw out
semantically, I will always bow down to I'm correct.
I think Sansa's going to win the Game of Thrones.
Yep. She's Elizabeth.
I don't doubt that. Yeah, she's the Queen Elizabeth character. So
She's
absolutely.
learned from the best.
Go back if you haven't done it. Go back and watch my very first video. It's about Sansa, how she's the younger, more beautiful queen, and I still stand by that. And I know people did that have said this before me, but it's like Marjorie was the overt one, and then Daenerys is for Cersei. Daenerys is the overt one for us as the show watchers. Sansa's the one that's always been the runner, the one.
I don't think Marjorie is overt. I think Marjorie's the.
No, she was the one overtly for Cersei, like taking Tom and then Joffrey in that aspect.
I thought you meant as a character.
Anyway. Long may she reign. Yes, Rod, damn it. Long may Sansa reign. Instead of Dany. God damn it. Anyway, we've rambled far too long, but it has been so much fun talking this episode. So, where can everybody find you all at home? Or online, depending on where can the folks at home find you online. There we go. That's better. Whoever.
You know where to find me. Everybody's go.
Yes.
Love y'all.
So I guess John will have to promote the newness of locations and lore tomorrow.
I already promoted it 15 times.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah. So John is my number one douchebag. Let's go, bud. Go ahead. I just wanted to say that. Ha!
Do you see what I deal with? Like, I feel like Sansa most of the time. I feel like Sansa with Ramsay most of the time.
You mean Sansa with Baelish, right?
No, I feel like Sansa with Ramsay. What you see is Sansa with Baelish. What really happens is Sansa with Ramsay. It's. Let's not talk about it.
Don't get butt hurt, John.
I already did. No, okay. So tomorrow I'm on Johnny's channel with his awesome series, News of Locations and Lore, where he's taking different content creators and different just people in general and talking about like, hey, what is a location that you want to talk about? And we'll talk about it. And for me, it's the Iron Islands. And so we have a really interesting conversation that'll be popping up, I believe, around 4 o'clock tomorrow, I think.
No, noon Eastern.
Noon Eastern? Okay. Sorry.
You're 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, it's
John lives in a different world. He lives in the shadows.
I live in the shadows. So yeah, it is really cool because we talk about just some awesome stuff about the Iron Islands. Some really in-depth stuff. On my channel personally, John St. Baptise. Right now, I'm going through Game of Thrones season by season and breaking it down track by track. Actually, season 6 dropped tonight. I believe Kinsey has put that in the link, so if you have time, check it out afterwards. It's a pretty cool playlist, and it's music because that's what I'm all about. Like, you know, I love talking Game of Thrones. I love talking all these other things, but really, for me, it's all about the music.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are all done, folks.
AK, where can the people find you? AK, promote Ladies Club, Episode Club.
Yes, you can totally find me in the chats around town of all of the Game of Thrones YouTubers that we love. And you can absolutely catch me with what is becoming more and more, I hear, the popular Ladies' Night of Episode Club. That'll be me, Mackenzie, Lauren Cullen, and Clarissa Thompson. And come check us out.
God damn it, that's a good crew. Fucking hell. God damn it.
Apparently it is. Look, honestly, I was surprised.
I couldn't hold my tongue. I apologize. God damn it.
I'll talk about it after, but go ahead.
I myself am surprised because I think I'm one of the most boring people ever.
No, you are, but everyone else is awesome.
Well, see, thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. Let the people know, because I invited those two ladies on to a stream that it was just supposed to be, well, not a stream, but a podcast. It was just supposed to be me and Mackenzie, and I know I'm boring as shit. So I had to bring in some folks to help me with the comedy and keep things moving smoothly. And the ladies came through. So look out. Our last podcast will be coming out soon, more than likely tomorrow. And I am going to try to get the ladies back with myself and Mackenzie for at least one more before we are completely caught up and ready to stream for the new season that's coming forth. I will be doing a chat about American Gods fairly soon-ish with Fandom D Saints and Laving Shadow. Let's see. Got new series coming up. Me and Johnny Be Crazy will be getting ready for is the They Deserved It series, where we pick apart random folks that have died in our beloved story and sarcastically say why they were dumb assholes and they deserved it. I think you'll enjoy, so make sure to tune into both mine and his channels. Besides that, I don't think I have a whole hell of a lot coming up. Me and the Mad Queens will be doing discussion panels for season 8. I'll be live streaming, so if you're in my time zone, which is the Eastern time zone, come watch the episode with me and commentate in the chat. Coming up soon is Ice and Fire Con.
Oh, girl.
I know Drinks and Know Things and their crew will be at, so expect to see some snapshots in Geek Chat 1 and maybe some random live streams that we will absolutely be chilling and drinking.
We need to talk about what
I'm going to be Drinks and Know.
There's a lot that we need to do.
Yeah, and then
absolutely.
Mr. Baptiste is also there too. So
yes,
Ooh,
Mr. Baptiste will be there.
Ooh.
Uncle AU Pat Mule, I know, will be there.
As Gertie Go Home says,
will be there.
Girl, hey, girl,
you know we cutting up. You know we cutting up, Gertie. I'm ready for it, girl. So if you see me before I see you, come talk to us, sister. Don't be shy.
It's actually really embarrassing that I didn't know you the last time we were there.
And we were in the same fucking space.
If you were at the bar, you missed us. We didn't miss you.
Absolutely.
You missed us.
It baffles my brain. I found this out months later. Like, damn, we were legit in the same damn spot.
That's what friends do, though. We get over it. And guess what? It's only going to be good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we will all be there. And I don't know about everyone else, but I will
that
also
might be where you can find me.
Thrones. What was that, John?
Just said that might be where you can find me.
Is only at Con of Thrones?
If you don't know where to look for me at Ice and Fire Con, go to the bar.
No, that was kind of our thing. Glendog and I we made friends with the townies, if you know what I mean. Like,
right.
That was our strength.
Yep. Same here.
Man.
I got to hang out with Old Nan again also. And Old Nan is awesome. I got to Lady Gwen from Radio Westeros. She is absolutely cool.
And Yoke Boy's going to be there this year.
Yeah, and Yoke Boy's going to be there this year. So I am very stoked for this. So if you can get to Deer Creek Lodge at the end of April, come hang out with
45 minutes south of Columbus, Ohio.
Not even 45 minutes. It's only a half hour, actually.
I was exaggerating. It was easy.
45 minutes north of me. 45 minutes.
This live stream has turned into an episode of Seinfeld.
I love it. I'm
here for it. Right. I'm here for it.
This week is pretty much on this channel will be just a whole bunch of great content, so stay tuned.
Really, the next 2 weeks of like any Game of Thrones streams are going to be promos and hangouts and a lot of fun
just
stuff.
Just a whole bunch of goodness. The beacons will be lit. We will be bouncing back and forth around everybody's channel. So just set your notifications, sub to everyone. As I always say, you'll catch me a lot quicker on someone else's channel than you will on mine. But go
Edward
ahead and
knows
hit
that Minas
sub.
Tirith is being attacked.
Yeah, right.
The beacons are lit.
Always needs aid.
And if the
So come hang out with us.
The only problem would be if a beacon is out. We're like, what? It's like the bat signal like just turns off. We're like,
once
what?
the beacon is lit, you're fine.
Luke, you just a little chub.
Yes. Yeah.
A little chub. Yeah.
Your reference.
I
A little.
I would give up both A Song of Ice and Fire and Harry Potter for Lord of the Rings. It's so good. It's so good. That's just for you, John. That's just for you, John. It's so good.
It is. I do agree. I do.
Do you want to talk about Children of Hurin right now? It's so
we
good.
cannot do that right now. Damn it.
No, not right now. Not right now. Who
In a
else
little
needs to
bit.
give their sign off?
You
Oh,
You do.
me?
Yes. Let's move along. Yeah, Luke. Since you're talking, hurry up. Sign off. Damn it.
I'm Luke. You can find me on the podcast that drinks and knows things. I run the podcast that.com, where we have a Game of Thrones podcast and also a Stephen King's It podcast called The Podcast That Floats Down Here, and also a Harry Potter podcast called The Podcast That Must Not Be Named. There's kind of a theme there you might see in some of the names of those. The main thing that I like is storytelling. Good storytelling is always worth talking about, and strong authors do a good job at storytelling. Spoilers are usually out of what we're talking about. We forced our sister to not watch past what we were talking about for about a year and a half to get through Game of Thrones. And that is Go Home Gertie, or Gertie Go Home in the chats. If you ever see her, that's Abby. Check her out. She's her sacrifices have been well documented and are incredibly appreciated. And she's still embarrassing on her takes because she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. So give her shit. And we love her.
And shout out to Melissa. Let's not forget her.
She's fine. Melissa's fine. Yeah, no, and we come from a big family, and I've forced personally them all into podcasting. And Melissa is our other sister, not Abby. Don't get confused. And she is a Stephen King expert, or veteran, not expert, because that has a certain connotation that Melissa didn't want. And she's a veteran that's read all of Stephen King's works, and we're going through it right now for the podcast that flows down here. I'm the first-time reader on that, so I'm a total douchebag idiot, and it's been a lot of fun. That's about all I have to say about that. Check it out. Go to the podcastthat.com and check out all of our podcasts, because we put a lot of time into producing all of these shows. And it's just all fun storytelling, imagination-based things. And I just like anything that anyone does that takes effort and or creativity that involves multiple people.
Indeed. And if for whatever reason you may have your doubts about going to check out the podcast that must not be named, or the podcast that floats down here, the Lord Commander AK fully endorses both of those channels. So go check them out. Don't be a wimp. Damn it. Go check them out and listen to these awesome discussions that Luke and the family has, because they are spectacular.
Get your shit together and check it out.
Exactly. You're welcome.
Thank you, AK. You are. I think we did. Your check is in the mail.
Get your shit together. It's like, let's get our shit together. And yes, make sure to subscribe and follow them too, because you guys will be doing streams on the Monday nights starting
on the Monday nights.
So make sure to watch that, because so much content, so little time.
It's so much content. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah. Sasuke, it seems like that, and it may be my birthday stream. We're talking about the butt stream, people.
Wait, Mackenzie, when's your birthday?
The May 28th. So it's the week
May
after.
28th.
It's the week after Game of Thrones ends.
Don't be rude. Just look on Facebook, man.
I'm not asking how old she is. I'm
Don't be
asking when her
personable.
birthday is.
Don't be personable. Go look on Facebook like every normal person does.
It's May 28th, so it's the week after.
Hey, Sasa, your birthday's 3.5 days before mine.
I do believe.
And I heard Melissa's birthday is very close to that.
I do believe
That's
the week
22nd.
before
The 22nd.
a butt flow chart together.
Yeah, the butt stream spreadsheet that's what Sasa K's been working on pretty much since the day that it had dropped. But yes, that'll be after because as Ben pointed,
says you're 53, obviously.
Yeah, I'm 53. You know, I look great.
It shows ginger years.
Yeah, and ginger
And Johnny's
years.
a chode.
Yeah, like Ben had pointed out, I should do it for my birthday stream. Why not? Because there also could be better butts that show up in season 8. That's what he told me. So,
Wait. Better butts than what?
better butts in season 8. Like there may be one that tops our rankings right now.
Yeah, maybe Jorah pull that ass out one time.
Old man ass. Oh gee. But anyway,
John's face. He just looked like he smelled his own fart.
you can. Oh my god. So you can find me on my channel where pretty much every day up until Wednesday will be a new episode of Episode Club as a premiere. So tomorrow, after Johnny and John talk the Iron Islands, Clarissa and I will talk season 6, episode 3, Oathbreaker, and me, Alicia, and Clarissa will talk season 6, episode 4, and then so on and so forth. Ben and I will be doing 5 and 6, Hold the Door, and Blood of My Blood on Friday, and so on and so forth. And the special one that some people got a sneak peek of, which was 607, will be dropping Saturday after Grand Maester Conspiracy Part 4 on Lauren's channel. So that one is gold. So I'd make sure to check that one out as well. And you can obviously find me on Johnny's channel. And the Cylon Johns, which 2 of the Johns didn't promote. So I will do it now personally myself. I will take up that moniker of the Jill doing it. Fridays, Battlestar Galactica rewatch with me as a first-time watcher, Clarissa as a first-time watcher, Bobby Catalano as a first-time watcher, and Amy True. And these 2 gentlemen who happen to be the experts talk Battlestar Galactica. Go watch last Fridays where we talk hashtag enter my body and so on and so forth. So
exit my 210.
Exit my 210. So might as well. Whoever wants to help me, can you help me shout out the lovely people who had joined us today in the chat? So we got someone.
Clarissa L. Thompson. I don't even know why there's an L there. I'm thinking of Mackenzie L. Burns. Sasa, you're right there. John Del Vento. BSOB. Sasa K. Drinks and those things. I don't know. This guy's been really weird.
Yeah, no, leave me out of it.
Catherine Harding. Abby. Go home, Gertie. Don't go home. Not yet. Of course, Alicia Kingston's here. Sly the Tank Benjamin. Thoueth Imaginationist Realmith is here in the chat. Mandolin, how are you doing tonight? I hope everybody's having a fantastic time. Catherine Harding, keep those comments coming. Me and you have like the same brain. It's hilarious. Otila Angel. You like how I enunciate the D. Otila. And Rod Dammit. How can I forget Rod Dammit? One of the best names out there for sure.
Excellent.
Terry T. Let's see.
BSOB, who is Owen, right?
I know there's some more people before, but the chat only let you go back so far now.
Shout out to Gertie Go Home, aka Abby.
AU Pack Mule was here.
AU Pack Mule was here. Terry T.
Sassy, Clarissa Thompson.
So many people.
The Imagination Realm. Mm-hmm. Check them out for sure. Follow them on Facebook as well.
Mandolin 523.
Terry T.
Catalano.
My Twitter mom. Go to my Twitter to find that out. And Alred talks
Linda Smith. She was here for a while.
Linda Smith. So many lovely people.
It's ridiculous how many people are just awesome in this whole fandom. It blows my mind every fucking time. John Del Vento, I know you mentioned him earlier, but that dude's fucking awesome. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, good fucking music, great fucking guy. Check him out for sure. Subscribe to his channel for sure.
Yeah, subscribe to everybody in this chat. Even if they're into content creator now, they may be in the future.
Except Sasuke. No. I'm kidding. Sasuke is amazing.
Sasuke is awesome, and
I'm jealous.
Actually, Sasuke.
Fake Arya was also in. I remember Fake Arya was also in the chat.
Be on my channel.
Bobby Catalano. Did we not say Bobby Catalano?
Bobby is my Twitter mommy.
Bobby. Booby. Ricky Booby.
Sasuke is actually going to be on my channel here soon.
John, why didn't you promote that?
I am right now.
John, promote it. John St. Baptiste, promote that shit right
We
now.
are talking about the music of Ron Jawadi.
Ramin Djawadi?
Ramin Djawadi.
Yeah. Ramon Javadi is actually the way you properly pronounce it, but we will be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about his music and soundtracks to the Game of Thrones. AU Pacquiao kind of opened the door for me on that with a live stream that I did with him a few months ago. But, Sasuke and I are going to be talking about it more from a music people perspective, and she knows so much more about music than I do. Like, she makes me feel so
The
dumb.
music man is saying that he doesn't know anything about music. Blasphemy.
Yeah, no, she makes me feel so dumb. It really,
John, I only want to follow that up with you. You need to get in touch with John Del Vento.
Mm-hmm.
I will just say that. You contact him. That dude's fucking awesome. That's what he does. So follow up on that. And as the music guy, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed at all.
if it involves music, I'll never be disappointed.
I know that. This is your guy.
Unless it's the fracking soundtrack they play at my work. Oh my gosh. It's so awful.
Oh,
Don't cheat on me, John.
Also, we have to convince Abby, I guess, to go to con. That was a thing that someone put in. I don't know if it was Ben or someone put in.
I think
Oh
I
my
put that
God.
in there.
Or you did. Yes,
John,
I think
how
every
many
single.
Johns?
Yeah, I'm going to con. Johnny's going to con. John's going to con. So many people are going to con. Abby, you must go to con. More people who. I think.
Raise your hand if you're on camera. If you're going to Con of Thrones.
I
see John St. Baptiste's hands is off camera, but it looks
I know
raised.
he's going.
Yeah. So, is anyone else going to Ice and Fire Con?
No.
I think John St. Baptiste is going there, and
AK is going to Ice and Fire Con.
she's gonna get drunk, and it's gonna be awesome.
I'm going to corrupt your brother even more than he's already corrupted.
I know, and that's like a ridiculous statement. I like it.
So apparently Johnny's jacked up on Mountain Dew. So
I'm all jacked up about Mountain Dew.
And on that note, I need to roll out. Damn it. It is midnight. AK got to go to work in the morning, man.
I just wanted to say that I freaked everybody out in the chat because I told Ben to shut up, or shut the fuck up, actually. So I scare people in the chat now because I said one F word.
By the way, there's a bounty out. If anybody can get Kenzie to say the word that Kenzie hates, I will pay you $500 and we'll mail it to you.
It starts with the same word as cat and ends as the rest of the word punt. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, basically. It's all those words. A little bit, yeah. Another name that Catelyn Tully gets out frequently. Anyway,
watch your goddamn mouth. You
I'll
You-
walk the soap.
you knock it off.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. I think this will probably be one of the longest episodes of Episode Club, and we'll just keep going anyways. But
That's what you
we
get
have
for
to let-
inviting me.
we have to let AK go to bed. So we will see. I will see you all in the chat tomorrow, and we'll see you all very soon. Next Wednesday. Actually, I should plug this right now. Next Wednesday, we should be doing season 7, episode 3, The Queen's Justice. And we'll see you all then.
Yeah, get it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Pasta.